I are live, I think. I should have tested first. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, it's coming. All right, it works. Never mind. Stop. Ah, quit. No. Okay. Let's not do this after. Turn this off. Okay. I am connected to something somewhere. That's probably good enough. I can hear myself. Okay. I'm connected to something somewhere. That's Forever Love. What's up? It is cold and rainy outside. Hold on. Come on. Good. That's a good first step. I should have tested this first before I got involved. Okay, hold on. It's cold, it's rainy, it's not snowing yet, but it's supposed to snow Monday? Yeah. I'm not going to Casino Senior Day because there is no Casino Senior Day lately because of tribal drama. But the Golden Pony had Casino Senior Day on Saturdays from 8 to 12. And they are sort of like a separate little teeny tiny tribe. I mean, like teeny tiny. Technically, they are a tribe. So they were able to have their own little casino. And there was some tribal drama. Oh, God, yeah, there is. And tribal drama is just really fun drama. I used to work out there for the administrator, so I got to see a lot of tribal drama firsthand. But there was a technicality, a legal technicality in their election process. So they didn't have to have elections. And so they didn't. And it's been 10 or 15 years they have not had elections and have had the same people in there doing as they please until lately. It's been maybe, well, I think it's been about a month when they shut it down. And what I have heard from people that are still involved is that the legal issue got solved, and so now they had to have elections, and so now they did, and so everybody voted those old people out, and they're all real mad about everything, and so they shut down the casino and froze everything up. I hope those poor people get unemployment anyway. So anyway, that's what's going on at the Pony and at Placo, Tribal Town. But yeah, I used to work there, and there's always drama because, well, my cousins used to be up there because their, who was it that was up there that was supposed to be a member? Their father was a member on the rolls. I mean, they've got you pedigreed back to the beginning of time. And a lot of people were that way because they think that we're go through the father, but we don't. We go through the mother. So every election, if they didn't like you, they'd throw you off the rolls and say you were ineligible to vote. And if they did like you, they left you alone. So there was always a lot of drama because then people had to go and bring in their birth certificates and file all over again. And sometimes they would make it in time for the election and sometimes not. Because how they do their elections, it's old-fashioned from the way they've done it forever and ever, so they've been doing it. But you have to be there, in person, and when you make a vote, you have to stand up in person there to be counted. So there's no secret ballot about any of this business. And drama, because everybody's related, everybody's cousins, and there's all kinds of money involved, grants from the government, but that might have dried up too, because all the shutdown business. So anyway, that has affected my Saturday morning, and I am kind of at a loss of what to do now that there is no senior casino day with my discounted lunch. But I got crap loads of turkey and, leftovers because I went down to the kids on, yeah, drama. But yeah, that's what's going on at the Pony. And what else? Oh, there was a little teeny tiny protest at the city council meeting, the last one they had. That lady texted me and said that they were going to try and have a protest because her son is the one that got fired, and those people are the ones that are after my land. So there were only 3 of us, and she had made little signs because they have taken public speaking, where you can just like address them. They've taken that off of the agenda. You can't get up and say anything to them anymore. And they have admitted that they don't check their email, they don't read their mail, everybody knows who they are. You have my phone number, you know where I work, you know where I live. So they have said it in so many words, they don't care what people think, they don't want to hear from people. They're going to do what they want to do, just shut up and leave them alone. Oh, it is. And that lady, we had a meeting at McDonald's afterwards because that's what my aunt used to do. She was on the council and she was a rabble rouser and would take me with her. She wanted me to follow her after she retired. And so she would take me to her meetings. And they would all gather around afterwards. It might not have been legal, open meeting law and all that. But they would gather at the little cafeteria, the truck stop, and sit around and have coffee and gossip and plan their next strategy. So that's what I suggested, that we all meet somewhere for coffee, all 3 of us, and sit and talk about things. So she's in the process of doing some legal things. I should, try and help her. I'm starting to, get a little gumption back and help her try and throw some people in jail. I don't know if she wants to go that far. I think she just wants them to be scared. But no, I want to throw people in jail. I get tired of all this crap. It happens at Creek Nation all the time. People just get shuffled off to another job, or maybe they even get fired, but nobody goes to jail. They finally put a second chief in jail a long time ago because he was embezzling the emergency fund for people that have hardship. He was embezzling the emergency hardship fund, going to the ATM and taking it to the casino and losing it. They put him in jail. Finally. I swear. Ooh. But yeah, it's kind of cold and rainy. I have 3 bales of hay in the back. I'll take it to the horses if it kind of lets up a little bit. But meanwhile, I'm in, like my cozy stuff, my warm cozy socks. Warm cozy fleece lined leggings. Oh, I swear, these people. Well, I hope somebody goes to jail. I think that's what it's going to take. And I hope it isn't me. You know how sometimes that stuff works out the wrong way. So anyway, I hope it isn't me. So anyway, the kids had their Thanksgiving early because Thanksgiving is Mandela effect. The 4th Thursday, which I think is weird because there's not always even used to not be one. Hey, Texian, what's up? I was thinking about you. You are on my prayer list. your situation. I know how it can be. It can be draining, and you have to push through sometimes. It's a struggle. But you're on my prayer list. But, they had their Thanksgiving on Tuesday, and like I said, Mandela, it used to be the 3rd Thursday, and I think it used to be the 25th. Anyway, it used to be the 3rd Thursday. I've told this story before because my old boss, I knew if I got him, like, a birthday card or something early during the week of Thanksgiving, I would make it because I knew it was sometime before Thanksgiving, but I wasn't always exactly sure, but I know now it's the 25th. And, then, like, the past, like, long time, several years now, I've missed it because Thanksgiving moved to the 4th Thursday. So if I waited until the week of Thanksgiving, I missed it, and I didn't used to. It used to be the 3rd Thursday. But, oh well, things change. Yes, you are in my prayers. So anyway, the kids had theirs on Tuesday. I chose not to contribute to the drama because apparently there was stress down at their house and they were not going to have anything at all until I told them that Aunt Connie and I were good. And then all of a sudden everything was back on again. That's what I told her. So we both decided to be grown-ups about the situation. I swear to God, we're still 5. Because I knew what was gonna happen, and I was hoping not, and it was what happened. She was gonna have those kids make an hour and a half drive up there, pick her up, take her down there, let her eat, bring her back, hour and a half drive up, hour and a half drive back home. And I knew she was going to, and that's what she was gonna do. Because my new daughter told me about it and asked if I couldn't pick her up because she was invited. So I thought, suck it up, girl. Be a grown up. So I told her what was going on. So she decided to suck it up too. We were both grown up. We were nice. We were gracious. And I did want her to see the things that she had given them. They looked really nice. She has nice things. And they have them now. And they should make good use of them. I'm expecting them to have to entertain. And they will make a good impression now. And sometimes presentation is important. As in food. Oh God, I made a segue. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Crap. This is one of my favorite movies. It has to do with food. All right. Stop. Wait. Okay, hold on. No, that's not it. It's another one. Is it that one? About life? One of these was about food. Oh, that one. All right. Hold on. Professional. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Okay, hold on. Like I said, I almost know what I'm doing. No, don't push that button. Let's do which one? Where is it? All right. Come on. There we go. Stop, quit, There's a plan. Okay, hold on. The energy you carry while cooking becomes part of the meal, blah, 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 this and that. I'm sure y'all can read. That will give me a chance to do something. Okay. Is that big? Yeah, okay. Because I really like this movie, Like Water for Chocolate. And I have seen it with subtitles and without subtitles. And it looks like there's another version that Selma Hayek put out, but it's HBO. I might have to pay for it. All right, so there's this. Because that is kind of the whole point of that movie. Dang, that was too fast. All right. Here is a clip from the new movie.
Tita.
Gracias.
Provecho. Tiene demasiada sal. Está muy salado, sí. ¿Por qué se lo come, mami? Tengo hambre.
Parecía que en un extraño fenómeno de alquimia, el deseo de Tita se había disuelto en la salsa de las rosas y el cuerpo de las codornices. Pedro no puso resistencia. Era como si la propia Tita penetrara en su cuerpo con cada bocado.
No me siento bien.
All right, hold on, stop. Let's go back a little bit. There is that the old one? Oh, one unavailable is hidden. Maybe that's not it. I wonder which one it is. Okay, this is the version I have not seen.
Suave, en lo suave, que se mezcle bien. ¿Para quién estás cocinando estas torrejas?
Estas torrejas me están volviendo loco.
Pedro te ama, Tita.
¿Tú cómo sabes?
Pues porque me he dado cuenta cómo se la come a besos con la mirada.
¿Me concedes este baile?
Vinieron a pedir la mano de Tita. Y sí, habrá boda. Pero como les expliqué a ellos, hace tiempo que decidí que Tita se va a quedar a cuidarme en esta casa hasta que me muera.
¿Qué está diciendo, mami?
Que Pedro Musqui se va a casar con Rosaura.
Sin tu cariño.
Yo sé que un día vamos a ser muy felices juntos.
Voy caminando.
Usted de verdad es mi mamá. Porque es extraño que siendo mi mamá me traten en el modo en el que me trata.
Basta.
Porque siempre busca hacerme daño. ¿Qué le hice yo para que...
¡Basta, Tita! ¡Cállate!
Pedro no es solo tuyo, Tita.
¡Basta ya! No dejes que tu familia te haga lo mismo que a mí. No dejes que nadie te diga a quién puedes amar.
Deja que
Provecho.
te busque. Y si te encuentro,
Tiene demasiada sal.
vuelve.
Voy a tomar aire.
Olvida lo pasado. Ya no te acuerdes de
Ingrata.
Si quieres cambiar el mundo, tiene que empezar por algo, ¿no? Cambiar el mundo.
ya no te acuerdes.
Espérate, me tienes que escuchar.
Ya te escuché y me dijiste puras mentiras.
Nunca te mentí.
Que me amabas, que te ibas a casar conmigo. Nada de eso fue verdad.
De aquí la que
que algún día podamos estar juntos. Tal vez algún día podamos tener la vida que queremos.
Tal vez.
That was all. I do like that movie, so when I saw that quote about cooking, because I believe that too, it brought this movie to mind, and that's when I found out that there's a new version at $9.99 a month. But I'll see what I can do. I bet eventually it comes out free. But yeah, I bet you that is the one unavailable video is the one that is the one that I have seen. I wonder if I can find one. Anyway, I wonder what will happen when I look at it. Let me see. Okay. This is a clip from the one that I have seen, it looks like.
The holidays are here, and you
Oh,
can
yeah,
turn your
no kidding,
home
they
into
are.
pure magic with Etsy.
And I'm ready
Shop
for it.
custom and vintage
Find
decor for that
everything.
personal.
Okay, here we go.
Cuando Tita sintió sobre sus hombros la ardiente mirada de Pedro, comprendió perfectamente lo que debe sentir la masa de un buñuelo al entrar en contacto con el aceite hirviendo. Era tan real la sensación de calor que la invadía, que ante el temor de que como un buñuelo.
Now, I think this version is, it might be English. I'm not sure if it's Spanish or English. Anyway, I think this version is free on YouTube. That might be what I do today. Is be cozy and watch a movie about eating food. Because I have so much right now. Anyway, the kids cooked, and it was really nice. And I drove down there with my sister, and we were nice. And she's finally about ready to get a car. And I think that's really nice too. I mean, holy cow, girl. Oh, it is. I think it's free. I'll try and find a link. If I can find a link, I'll put it in there. But I mean, she's just helpless, and I don't know what her problem is. You know, maybe it's grief. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she just wants to be helpless. But you can't be helpless. I mean, you just can't be helpless. Walk or die. So she's finally ready to start looking at her vehicle. She has not even checked check the oil, check the transmission fluid. She does not know how to do that. She has not made an effort to try to figure it out. So now that she's ready, I'll try and help her do that. Help her get a vehicle. Another project for Christmas. Oh, golly, yeah. And you just cannot. I mean, I learned that. What was it? One of my new mottos that I learned. Don't wait for help and expect no rescue. I mean, that's how you kind of have to go through life. You can't expect help. If it comes, that's really, really, really good. But you can't be helpless. So I'm glad she's finally kind of ready to maybe snap out of that. And I'll help her. I'll help her if I can. Like with the car. I mean, I know how to check transmission fluid. But she has another issue now because it's been sitting there so long that the battery doesn't work. So now somebody will have to come up with some jumper cables. Because our brother's not going to help her. I have all kinds of issues with my brother. He's been nice. He's going to church, but there's still some things he should probably work on. So anyway, he's not helping her, even though he could. So that's what we'll have to do, one step at a time. baby steps. Get a jumper cable, jump the battery, get it started. Then, we can at least check the oil. If you can get it started, check the transmission fluid. Well, my brother's been being nice. I'm going to try not to be ugly and hateful. But, part of the danger is getting too justified. Because when you get too justified, you quit looking at yourself because everything you do is God because it's blessed by God. You start getting too justified in what you do and think everything you do is right. And I am wondering if he isn't kind of getting that way because, his church is asking him to speak and things like that. And I don't want to get in his way or discourage him. But I'm watching. And it's that land. He's mad because he thinks that they're living on his land. He wants it back. He sold it to him, but he wants it back. That's why he's mad. And one of the reasons he won't help her. Oh, well, that's how it goes. Face the 8, what's up? You probably don't have Thanksgiving, but we did. I had a little bitty, like a tiny little piece of turkey up here. Brought my sister over. We had, I took her a plate anyway, a meal. And brought her into town for her groceries because, it is going to be crummy and it's going to start snowing Monday. And she uses a delivery service called Instacart, and they are becoming unreliable. So that might be another reason she wants to get a car. And the little local bus service that there is that, kind of runs around and provides transport is starting to cut services. So that makes her kind of like stranded. But been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, so I'm not going to leave her out there. So, came into town. She's all stocked up. I'm all stocked up too. Everybody's all stocked up. So, everybody can just kind of chill, I hope. It hurts when they turn against you. I'm really trying to, I don't know. It's hard to balance. It's hard to balance understanding with being justifiably pissed off. So I'm trying to find that. Because there's a point where you just, they need to just quit knocking you down when you go up trying to do something. It's like a drowning person trying to take you with them. But we'll see. So far, golly. Well, so far, I do not have a success story. But we'll see. I'm doing it for myself. I'm not going to leave her out there like that. It's my own self. I'm just not going to do that. I know better. But anyway, everybody's cozy. I have hay in the back for the horses, which does not do them much good right now, but it's there. My son, I think, has already got his limit of deer. He was wanting to donate it to some food program for venison, but they had regulations. He had to go hunt at their site, down there. So I think that's what he did. But he got one up here. He was up here the other day. So we'll see how that goes. But getting the washing machine out of the house really did help, because I don't know how it was leaking. I mean, well, it was full of water, but it should have been holding it, and it wasn't. So I just bit the bullet. I couldn't get the water out. I mean, I just couldn't do it. And I cut the hose and just let the water run, because it's already flooded. It's already messed up. And it wasn't going to get any worse. So I just cut the hose in the back, cut it loose, and let it run, and did. Leon was out there helping me, because he still has his stuff in there. His mom's furniture, her bedroom furniture, and some of his little odds and ends. And the flooding from that is seeping through the carpet into the room where a lot of other things are, and it's causing mold and mildew on the furniture that's in that room. But now that that has been done, I mean, it looks horrible. It's out the door, though, and it did cause a mess. It did flood. But it's barely out the door. It's enough to just shut the door. But it's out the door, and it is dried out. It's still nasty. It's still moldy and mildewy, but it's dried out. And my brother did cut a tree. The main one that was across the garage. He cut that tree up and piled it, so there's going to be fuel for a nice bonfire. So it's coming along, and William was going to put some venison in the refrigerator, so I opened the door. And, hopefully it's encouraging. It's not as bad as it was. It's cleaner. It's a lot of fire. It's cozy. Yeah. And I tried to stop it from flooding, because I know that, when there was the last big freeze, anytime I turned on the outside faucet, like for the horses, it would flood in a line across the hall inside the house. From the front bedroom, it would flood across the line, across the hallway, and disappear into the other bedroom. So I'm pretty sure that pipe under the house was busted. So I shut off the water altogether, but somehow it was still leaking into, because I thought I turned it off, but apparently not. So anyway, somehow it was leaking into that washing machine and causing more flooding. But now, all that's left is to rip up the carpet and take out all of the cabinets that are moldy and white with mildew. Fun, fun, fun. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see. But it's better. It's better than it was. And that little shed that I think is tight is good. That's where I put the hay. All of this is on pause for a while because of the weather. Mm-hmm. Hey, Homestead, what's up? Life in the country. And I don't think that there are going to be any poachers. I am amazed. Normally, there are gunshots all day long on Thanksgiving, starting on Thanksgiving afternoon. until the end of deer season, probably at least a week, while people take vacation. Maybe it's because I'm not out there, but even as little as I have been out there, you would have heard something because, it starts that afternoon. So that's a good thing. Farm living. But it is nice and cozy right now. Like I said, if it gets better, let me go see what it looks like. It's coming from the, oh my goodness, I scared myself to death. I had to fiddle around with the front door. It wasn't, the part that comes in and out wasn't coming in and out. So I was fiddling with screwdrivers and so forth. So it finally started working. But I felt tremors, like earthquake for a couple of days because I can feel them when I'm like laying on the couch, which I have been doing, going to sleep. And so when I left the house last night, because I had my sister, I was taking her back to the house and was making her a plate from what I had. And I came in real quick and I shut the door, but it did not catch. It sounded like it, but it didn't catch. So when I came home, the door was wide open. The front door was wide open. The wind had blown it open. And I thought, oh no, where's my big dog? Because I was gone not too long, but maybe an hour. Taking her back to the house and sit and visit for a minute and then come back. But he was where he was on the bed. He's not supposed to be getting on the bed. But when I came I came rushing in. I was like, "Oh my God, where is he? Oh my God, is he loose? Oh my God, has he been picked up? Oh my God, has he been shot?" He just came kinda in shaking himself. He had been asleep on the bed where he's not supposed to be all evening long, thank God. So, I had to start using the deadbolt. But this morning, it catched. Like I said, I can feel tremors. There have been some earthquakes lately, small tremors. And, it just shook itself back into alignment. Because sometimes that's how I can tell is if the doors don't shut. And I can feel like the couch I can feel the shaking through the couch. So I guess that's what happened. It kinda shook itself back. It works right now. So oh, boy. I'm so glad to see you. I am. But you know that. Yes, I feel like I had a narrow escape last night. The door wasn't shutting properly, and I didn't know it. It felt like it was catching, but it didn't. And when I came back from taking my sister home from her groceries, the front door was wide open. The wind was kinda strong, and it had blown the front door wide open. And I was so scared. But he was on the bed. He's not supposed to be on the bed, but he was on the bed and came back from there. So I'm glad he was on the bed. Dear. Let me look outside. The wind is from the north. Oh, golly. Yes, it's cold, it's windy, but it's not wet. Eventually, God, I'm going to suck it up and dress warmly and take some hay out to the horses. What I need to do is repair the fence. I should have done that when it was sunny and warm, but I didn't. And then let them in around the house. We'll see. It is cold and it is windy, but it's not rainy. But I'm only halfway through my coffee. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I will become motivated by caffeine. I know it. Well, I mean, if it's not too bad, we'll see. I'll ask my brother if he will help me. I mean, I did wait until it was the worst, crummiest day of the week. We'll see. Especially when it's been wet and rainy and cold. I know, you'd think I would learn by now. But we'll see. Because they did get a good meal yesterday. It looked like my brother had gone out and, broke open the last bale and given them some. Plus, he had a sack of alfalfa pellets. God, they love alfalfa. And I could see that he had put that out in a trough. So I went ahead and gave them the rest of that bale of hay yesterday. So they had a pretty good meal. Probably the deers came and ate the rest of it. But they did pretty good yesterday. Dutch. Well, I think if you get acclimated, it's not that bad. But I think going in and out, being comfortable and cozy, and then go in and out and get cold and then go back in and get cold. I think that's what'll get you to, get you. But if I suck it up and find another pair of gloves, I have lost my good working leather gloves. That's one reason I didn't do the fence repair. I couldn't find my gloves. But I'll just have to wear something else. Because the top, it is barbed wire. That top line is barbed wire. Well, yeah. If you're dressed properly, I'm going to keep on my fleece line leggings. Put on some, thick pants. My snake boots. And, well, I don't really have to do much. I don't even have to unload, really. Let me think about this. No, I don't even have to unload. I can just drive up there and throw out a bale of hay and wish them luck. And that won't be too hard. I guess the Dutch are perfect in it. But it's not real bad. It did rain last night. And a little bit this morning. But right now, I am enjoying being cozy. Wake and bake. I put some of my chocolate in my coffee. And maybe when that starts working, I won't care if it's cold. I won't even notice. So, first things first. Oh my God, I know. Texan. I mean, we do have the earthquakes. I mean, they kind of quit because they stopped fracking. There was a guy that was doing fracking around here and they quit that. So we did have the earthquakes, but we still have the tremors. And we are on a fault line. Plus, you know, everything that's poisonous, the spiders, the snakes. What else? Tornadoes, floods, earthquakes. It's exciting. Meth heads. Oh, God. Poachers. The coast. Is that like the southern coast? Like, Galveston and all that stuff? Down that way? Because I miss the California coast. The ocean down there. No. It must get... How can it be salty? But that's interesting, though. Maybe it comes from salt flats or something like that. Because surely it can't be getting anything from the ocean. I wouldn't think. Oh, yeah. Well, I have lately discovered infused chocolate bars. Oh, okay. Well, they said that after one of the big hurricanes that there were alligators down the road in Shawnee in their reservoir. So I assume that's where they came from. And you heard all kinds of birds, like out in the country in the morning. Tropical sounding birds. And so I assume that they might have been swept into the storm and carried up this way too, along with the alligator. Maybe plural alligators. Yes, it fused with pot. They have flavors even. It's cookies and cream and Dutch chocolate and milk chocolate, and one of them has RSO. That's the one I get. What else? Anyway, yeah. So that's what I put in my morning coffee. Put chocolate, make it chocolate coffee. And the RSO, I think, helps. Oh, it is. It's nice. I mean, they used to sell ice cream at the place in Henrietta, but I guess those people quit making ice cream. And I'd put that in my coffee. You know, every once in a while they would have, you know, well, once a week everything goes on sale at a different time. So I went in on 20% off day to get their ice cream and would put that in my coffee in the morning. But I have to watch my sugar because it is like sweet. The ice cream was like was ice cream. And the chocolate really is chocolate. I can taste it. It's sweet. So I have to kind of watch that a little bit. I have to ration my sugar. And I have not been doing that. I have had deep dish crumb apple pie with ice cream and brownies. Oh my God. What else did I have? Things like that. So I have to kind of be careful. I'm glad that I took my A1C test before the holidays, but I'll have to go in after the holidays, but they should expect that. How can you screw up something like blackberry marshmallow? Blackberry marshmallow what? But I'm not even that hungry right now. Let me look for something other stuff. Oh, did I finish this? I might not have finished.
Le empezaron a brotar burbujas por todo el cuerpo, el vientre, el corazón, los senos. Bajó la mirada y trató de huir.
This is 2 minutes. I hope they don't get me. Sometimes these movie clips
Quisiera aprovechar la oportunidad
will
para decirle
strike.
que estoy profundamente enamorado de usted. Sí, sé que esta declaración es atrevida y precipitada, pero es tan difícil acercársele que tomé la decisión de hacerlo esta misma noche. Solo le pido que me diga si puedo aspirar a su amor.
Oh, boy, that sounds good.
No sé qué decirle. Deme tiempo para pensar.
No podría. Necesito una respuesta en este momento. El amor no se piensa, se siente o no
Oh,
se
that sounds
siente.
kind of good, though.
Yo soy hombre de pocas pero muy firmes palabras. Le juro que tendrá mi amor por siempre. ¿Qué hay del suyo? ¿Usted también lo siente por mí?
Sí.
Yeah, I better watch it. Those people will strike. Stop. I might already be too late. No, stop. There we go. Where is... I'm going to have to go all the way back to the beginning. Get here. Get there. Oh dear. I was watching, artificial food. And I did have a video about it. And it is gone now. I mean, it's been removed. But it was a lot of the videos about artificial food, how it's plastic and fake and contains a lot of artificial ingredients now, including virus and vaccine. And I think that might be why it got pulled off of YouTube.
When you said
Hello, how
fake,
are you?
I mean, when you said fake, you had me. I was like, yeah, fake.
Fake food.
Fake
But
food.
But it was a good video, but it's gone now.
Mm.
And I think because they were saying that some of the artificial ingredients that they were finding. Hello, Alvar. Some of the artificial ingredients, I mean, they were putting it right in there, were vaccines. Some of the artificial ingredients. Plus, well, another word for the GMOs. And I think I had something. But I have to see what else I can find. Hold on.
You pushed the wrong button again. Okay.
I swear to God, I'm semi-pro. Okay, hold on.
Haha, hoo. Hey.
I know it. Let me try some more.
You pushed the button to take me away. Haha, hee, hoo. Mm-hmm.
I know it. Oh, golly, I need to try to find that. Hold on. Let me put something up while I try to find it.
It's such a good... Okay, I never heard it before, since a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
And yeah, I never heard it. And I'm like, well, this is a song that I should have noticed, because it's so applicable to me.
Well, it used to be somebody's theme song, something that I used to watch probably. Like a
I
local
should have
person?
noticed. I feel
Oh,
so
wait,
stupid
exactly.
for not ever hearing this song. But then again, I know of Joe Martinez is his name, right?
I
You
don't
know him.
know. But yeah, I know that name, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
right. You know Joe Martinez. He's a musician
Yeah.
too. And he never heard Black Betty Bam Lamb.
Oh,
Oh,
you're kidding.
he never, and he's a musician, right? And he played in
Yeah.
rock bands, and he never heard that until 5 or 6 years ago. And he said,
Oh my goodness.
and when he heard it for the first time, he felt stupid. He's like, why have I never heard of this song? And,
Well,
and
I had thought of it.
I feel the same about this one. Like, they're coming to take me away. They're coming to take me away. I'm gonna do. They're gonna take me to the funny farm where everything is nice and warm, and I'm
All day
looking forward.
long.
I mean, how come I never heard of this? I feel the same as Joe Martinez did. Like,
Well, see, my theory is that you Europeans are so unsophisticated.
mhm.
You have
Yeah.
not been exposed to this kind of thing. Y'all are sheltered.
That must be it. Yeah, that must
That's
be
it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're just not exposed to it. It's a new world.
We've always lived
That
in the
is-
funny farm as it is.
Yeah, and it's nice to find a theme song. Okay, I probably have shown this one, but I will do it anyway again.
This is all AI. This is all AI.
Is it really?
Yeah, of course.
I'll have to try it. I will have to try it.
It's funny though, but it's all AI. It's clearly AI. Besides that, I hate fucking videos that have that laughing track on the back.
Oh, I know it. 'Cause it's like it's like when they do it on television, when they have it on a comedy and they tell you when to laugh by putting on the laugh track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I have seen other videos of this that is just, like just dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But that was about all that I had for that. Because I have been running around.
Running around.
Mm-hmm. And today I'm going to be lazy. Probably. I bet.
Yeah, I think. But you have horses, so you can't be lazy.
I know. Relatively lazy. Because I think instead of unloading all 3 bales of hay and fixing the fence,
Huh?
I will probably just unload a bale of hay and quit.
I mean, is that much work to unload a bale of hay? Really?
It's a little bit. It's not that bad. I've got a dolly. What I do is I will pull it out of the back of the car, with a hay hook, onto the dolly, and then wheel it into the shed. The first one goes to the horses for a distraction, so they don't escape. So I'll take the first bale out and kind of just drag it over there and throw it over the fence and, here. And then while they do that, then I will take the other 2 bales out one at a time and put them in the shed.
How many bales does it take? I mean, with 3 horses, I mean, like one bale per day or what?
I should really, but I am kind of depending too much on them being out in kind of a lot with some grass, but there's not really a lot of grass. That's why I should have repaired the fence so I could let them into the house and let them eat what is around there too, until deer season is over, and I can put them back in the big pasture. Yeah, this is all because of deer season.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so your pasture shrinks during deer season? What?
During deer season, I bring them to the house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I mean, these
It
people,
makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, yeah, it makes
yeah,
sense.
because some people are hunters, and some people shoot anything that moves.
Hmm. Yeah, well, those are the same kind, right? But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
same kind of people. But yeah, I mean, if there's a season for it and it keeps I mean, if it's useful,
And
apparently it is.
yeah, it's not too bad, but I think that somehow word got out that we have good trophy buck here, and there was a lot of poaching last year. Somebody sold hunting leases to our land, and so strangers were coming up saying they had paid for a hunting lease, but they had bought it from somebody that the land didn't belong to them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my brother had to deal with that. So
It sounds pretty devious. And
yeah, but that seems like there were a lot of people last year. A lot of big trailers. It looked like there were a lot of rich hunters that came in, big trailers.
Just for
Yeah.
safari, right?
Just for safari, just to come and hunt. So, but I don't think there's that much of that this year. It doesn't seem like it anyway. Because they do. My brother has to do it. My father had to do it.
I mean, it would be nice to put out a safari, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're coming in for safari, guys, and it's not legal. So let's go on safari.
Yeah, just go out and do it. Well, I've encouraged my brother to do that. I don't know if it's too late.
Yeah.
Because they're so good at it. I said, what you should do is lead a hunt. Like maybe sell 3 hunts a year to rich people.
Yeah.
And he could guarantee him a deer and show him how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And you could also sell the illegal hunt out of the season, and they would all go, and they would agree for it to be out on the season, and they might get shot in the process or in the progress. And
that just add to it.
And you just shoot them in the process. I mean, you pretty much agree to it. I mean, it's not allowed to begin with.
We told you it was illegal.
You paid money for it, so it's pretty much a contract. Hallelujah, motherfucker. Come on.
You wanted the thrill of the hunt.
Right?
This is part of it.
You wanted war. Here you got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, they did. They have had to go out and face people. Like, both of them have stories about having poachers, trespassers, and having to go and ask them politely to leave, and they don't want to do it, and they will turn their guns on them and say, make me leave. Like that kind of stuff.
Really?
And so they do.
Yeah.
Make them leave.
Not on their feet, though, but they left. Anyway.
Yeah, because they will pull their guns out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have had to do that. Every year, they have had to do that with somebody. But this year seems like it's not going to happen. No, maybe we're becoming civilized.
I guess that's the only way.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, you know, I guess there's trade-offs.
I mean, it's something like a civilization, but then there's also something like a culture by the Jews, right? And so, yeah,
Let's
I mean,
reach out here in Okema.
right? I mean I mean, those are two different things, and sometimes
Yeah.
people mix these two things up. It's like, yeah. But you still know the difference, right?
I don't know. The only Jew I've known. Let's see.
I
The
know.
man that used to own the movie theater was Jewish.
Yeah.
And the lady that I used to work for was Jewish. Or not work. Yeah, I did. I work for her.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she didn't work for you. I mean, if it's a Jew.
No. It was in a business. We did market research. It's a pretty big company.
Yeah, then it's Jewish. I mean, if it's big enough, it's Jewish. So, good deal.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I do.
Yeah. Oh my God.
My country is even allowed to revise
Georgia. Do what now? I'm sorry.
to revise the Holocaust.
I have heard things like that. That it was all a fake.
Yeah.
But
And
you know, so much is.
you cannot say that in Austria or in Germany or in Belgium. Well, you can say that in Belgium, but not in France, not in Austria, not in Germany.
Can you
But
say it in England anymore?
you can't say it in the Netherlands. You can doubt it. You can't say it didn't happen, but you can doubt it. But doubting it is even prohibited in the rest of Europe. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
This
I
guy,
mean,
this guy in Austria, a scientist, for that matter, an actual scientist, was jailed for 16 years for presenting facts and truth. 16 years.
so I think you should always be able to ask questions about things. And if it can stand up to scrutiny, as they say, then it's all right. And if it can't, then that's probably why they don't want any questions. I mean, I think that goes for anything.
Yeah. You're totally right. And so I've seen this. Who was it? Was it Eric Dubay? I think it was Eric Dubay.
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched anything, but I've heard people reference Eric Dubay.
He had a very good. Yeah, it's this one. Let's listen to this.
Okay, hold on. Okay, is this going to involve pushing buttons?
Yes, give me a second.
All right.
It's a very good.
Don't. I'm afraid of what you might put it.
That's a very good dissertation. It's a very good philosophical thing.
I bet. Hold on, wait. I have to take this one down first, I think.
It's like it's about that this realm has so much more badness than it does have goodness in it, right?
Well, I believe that.
Right?
All right. Okie dokie. Did I do too much? No, hold on.
I think you're getting there.
Anxiety. Poof.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah.
There we go.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Time. We just give up our autonomy and agency and
Yeah, so it's Eric Dubay. I mean,
Yeah.
good old, one of the first flat earthers out there, together with Matt Powerland, right? They were the first to be around, and their names have gotten obscured. But listen to what these guys are talking about. I mean, it's a very interesting. It's not flat Earth. It's beyond that.
absolutely will
Andre
allow that to happen again, and they'll cheer it on and champion it, which is the crazy thing that we found happening during that time, was that there was such
Mhm.
a big part of the population that was so willing to go along with the most ridiculous and illogical notions, as long as they're told by a perceived authority figure. We're so compelled to do whatever the government or perceive, it could be, doctors, whoever we perceive as an authority figure at the time. We just give up our autonomy and agency and critical thought to whatever dictates they have and just go along with it on a mass scale. And that was quite disconcerting to see that happen then. And I think a lot of us are disconcerted about the future, and if something else like that is being planned, because that certainly was planned beforehand, and now who knows what they're planning now.
100%. Here in the UK, we've got this digital ID thing that is trying to be kind of imposed upon us. We've had one large protest in London against that. I don't know if we've had any other kind of smaller ones, but yeah, I mean, we do. It kind of feels like here that we are back again a little bit. With that, it's like, okay, here we go again. But the good news is there has been an enormous amount of pushback against digital ID in this country, and it's really positive. And we really have got something here in terms of a pushback against that. So yeah, there's every reason to be optimistic on that one. But yeah, let's just see sort of what happens.
Yeah, that's good to hear that there's pushback, because that does seem to be the next bit of the agenda on the 2030 year, is to get everybody on a digital biometric system worldwide. And Asia seems to be going along with it quite well. China, of course, is their first test country that's full-blown social credit scores and all. And that seems to be the model they would like to bring in everywhere, as long as we're compliant. Western world, a lot of us are rebellious and individual enough to think of these kind of things. Over in Asia, everyone's just kind of like a group mentality. Go along, with the new technologies, the best. There's very, very little pushback to any of this.
This is a very important aspect of the whole rollout of the system, right? Of course, they would love to roll out the new system in an area where everybody has that mindset, right? I mean,
And I don't think that there are a lot of people left in China anymore that stand up. I think they probably killed everybody that stands up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's easier to start there and test it, and I think that's what they're doing. They're testing it out there because there's so many and they're so compliant, and then they'll come here.
But also, there's also I've also seen videos of people in China and mostly in China, not so much in Japan, but in China, the people are just outcast and just lying out there in the streets, right? I mean,
Goodness.
I don't know.
I've seen videos where there are a lot of empty cities. They're wondering where all the people are.
Yeah, but that's a different story. That's just that's just investments, right? So the people that sold the investments, they got their money. The people that bought those investments lost their money. Only the people that bought the investments in the West lost their money,
Mhm.
but everybody in the East got their money. So the people that built it and the people that projected it, they all got their money, right?
Yeah.
But nobody lives there. And so it dies. And all the people in the West that gave their money to these people and said, oh, this is going to be a new city, they lost their money.
Well, I think that's what's
And
happening here.
they don't care whether that city dies or lives. You know, they got their money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, oh, all these dead cities. No, that's how these cities.
They just developed them and they went back. Well, really, I think that now that you described that is what's happening here. They have promoted investment in development, and the people that are promoting the investment, the people that are giving the money, and the developers that are doing the building are guaranteed to get their money.
Yeah.
Because we are having to pay for it through taxes. But it sounds like the same sort of thing, that they are going to be going out and developing like those empty cities, and they don't care if it's filled or not because they're going to get their money, and the more that they build, the more money that they get. I think that's what's going on here.
Imagine building a house and you don't even know what people are going to live inside of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's already normal in this society, right? Not for me though. I never took part in such a project, but I don't blame the people for being part in such a project. But that's how far away, how do you say this? How disconnected we have become to be, right? I mean, if I would build a house, I would know who I'm building the house for, right? But
it wouldn't be just speculation on spec. Maybe somebody will want it.
But I mean, the people that are building a how do you call this, a skyscraper, they don't know who's going to live there. It's also unpersonal, so depersonalized.
Yeah.
I couldn't work like in a depersonalized situation. I tried, but people don't even like it when I try. But when I'm in a personal situation, when I know who I'm building for and what I'm building,
yeah,
I'm just not how do you call this, a little radar in a machine. It's going to work out fine.
Yeah, I can see a difference in it.
Yeah, but this is what the world has become to be.
Yeah,
Asia at all, and that's concerning.
Is that what you experienced when you were in Thailand?
Yeah. They just love that there's the convenience of all the new technology, and they just think of it as progress. They don't see the potential negatives and all the things that could happen down the line. And what happens with a mass electrical outage? What happens if you go against the government? And now they can turn your digital ID off. There's a bunch of what ifs that they don't seem to question those kind of things. They just like the idea of progress and the new thing, the next new novel item.
Well, yeah, that's really interesting. Would you say that's partially the reason why you left, or I mean, I know there must be a multitude of factors.
With family,
sure.
But, yeah, because there's when it comes to being disappointed with the types of people I find, it's worldwide. There's good and bad, intelligent and unintelligent people everywhere. I haven't really found any place that I thought like, oh, this place in general is more enlightened than some other place. It's more just in pockets or in individuals than it is in like an entire country or a town even. Yeah.
Great sort of introduction a little bit for us both to kind of get things starting. Shall we start off with the questions?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just read out this disclaimer just to make your listeners aware that what we're about to talk about may come across as very negative and bleak, but I think it's important to expose this reality for what it is, and what we don't want by the end of this is for you to feel hopeless and defeatist. So we will end this on a positive as much break to get things started. Have you seen the movie Last Action Hero?
Yes, I have seen that.
Okay, it is so profound. It's about a kid who inhabits an Earth realm representative of our reality and gets transported to another Earth realm via a cinema ticket. Now, the difference between that realm and the one in which where he came from is that the world he has leaped into is energetically synchronized so that the good guys win. Now, the villain from that realm gets hold of this ticket and uses it to travel to the world in which this kid came from originally, and very quickly realizes that this is the reality where the bad guys win. And there's a scene where he walks up to a random guy and shoots him in cold blood, and then shouts out loud, "I just killed a man. I want to confess." And he gets
See, and this is why I wanted to share it, because this is what we were talking about, Greek Mary.
Okay.
And it's actually very profound the way he explains this movie. Like, wow. I never saw the movie. I never knew the script or the plot, but it's pretty much like that, you know. That feels.
I know.
What's that? Sorry.
I know I've seen it, but I can't remember it. But I know I've seen it.
Yeah, but the way Eric Dubé explains it and how it relates to our earthly experience or worldly experience, that's profound. And so here it comes.
I want to confess. And he gets little or no reaction to it. Now, our reality may not be as extreme as that, but there is definitely a parallel here. And I do feel that our reality is energetically synchronized to support evil and criminals. Some people may argue that it is just people doing bad things and nothing to do with the natural world we live in. And whilst there is no doubt there are bad people in this world, I genuinely believe that the earth works in favor of bad doers. Do you agree? And what experiences have you gone through in your life, in your own life, that supports this?
Right. You know, that makes me also think of the movie. Have you seen American Psycho?
I've not seen that, no.
In that movie, the little serial killer maniac, at the end of it, he, I don't know if you'd say gains a conscience or not, but he wants to confess, similar to that. And so he's trying to confess to his murders, and his lawyer and his friends and co-workers and everyone around him doesn't even believe him, even after he tries to confess it all. And yeah, same, gets little to no reaction to it. So I do, in a way, agree with what you're saying. It seems like here the rich elite psychopaths seem to be aligned with some powerful negative spiritual power. They seem to be rewarded for being superficial and selfish and materialistic. And meanwhile, like truly good, selfish, and spiritual people, more often than not, in my experience, tend to be poor, downtrodden, and suffer all sorts of ways just for trying to help. And there's a bunch of idioms that we've cliches that we've made over the years that point to this idea as well.
This
No
is
good deed
so
goes unpunished.
superficial yet so deep, right? What he says here, right? I mean, I heard you laugh when he said, you know, all the good people are downtrodden.
Poor and downtrodden.
Yeah, right. And you recognize that.
Yeah.
And so, how about all these idioms that he talks about next? Like, no good deed will go unpunished. The good guys finish last. I mean,
and there's a bunch of idioms that we've, in like cliches that we've made over the years that point to this idea as well. No good deed goes unpunished. Only the good die young. Virtue is its own punishment. Nice guys
Reward.
finish last. Life isn't fair. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Even the message of the Bible seems to be basically this to me when I read it. I see God incarnating himself onto earth to try and help everybody. The most perfect, selfless person. And then he's kidnapped, tortured, and killed just for trying to help here. So, I mean, how advanced, how spiritually developed, how positive can this world truly be if God sends his son here to try and help, and that's what happens?
That's profound. It's profound.
Yeah. But I feel like since God did do that, there must be something, a purpose, a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't negate the thing happening, but
Yeah.
I mean, especially God wouldn't mind this question. He would surely say, "That's a good question, dude. That's a very good question." I mean,
I know.
yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, I talk to God like that. I ask questions all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes me wonder about the mindset that those sayings come from. Because
Yeah.
it does seem to put down good and show that good and virtue are punished and are not rewarded in this realm.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bad things are. And I think that a lot of the theories are, just that, some reason to try and rationalize it and have it make sense.
If you can't beat them, join them. That's also one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them. Well, just like in the Matrix, where that guy gives everybody up so he can have steak again, even if
Yeah.
it's fake steak.
He knows it's fake.
Yeah, but he wants it anyway.
Tastes better, dude. Tastes better.
And it's comfortable.
I get it. I get it.
I
understand it. I just don't appreciate it.
Oh, I know it. I mean, it would be nice to go ahead and just say, okay, yeah, go ahead.
If only I could.
Well, you'd have to turn off so much of yourself.
I'd make this world a better place.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think it's another Rick Astley song, so that's why I said it.
Maybe we can make it.
Absolutely, it does seem like this is a negatively charged world. I even think that the negative is
It's a hell realm. It's a hell realm. That's what King Steffi would say. It's a hell realm. I think it is, though. It's not an understatement. It's,
well, you get so used to it. I mean, you get so used to having to fight evil and watching it win. It just seems like that's the way it is, but maybe not.
No, it is. It is. It is. I mean, it is like that. Evil will win in this realm.
In this realm, yeah.
Yeah. That's how it is. I mean, it's hard to deny that. But there's more good people living in this realm than bad people. But the thing is that the good people are fooled into the bad, so to say. But yeah.
Well, like they talk about the sheep and use that as an illustration all the time. You know, the trusting blind sheep that will follow, the fake leader because they are blind and trusting and don't know any better.
Yeah.
Until it's too late.
It's proportional to the positive in a bunch of ways, like a thought experiment I've presented, that if you were given an hour of the most pleasurable pleasure that you can imagine here on Earth, but then afterwards you would have to suffer 1 hour of the most diabolical medieval torture methods, would anyone with a straight face actually take that deal? I haven't found anybody because the amount of pain possible here from some of these,
that's such a good black and white such a good black and white sketch, right? Of
this one?
Of Eric Dubé. No, not the picture that we're looking at, but what Eric Dubé sketches there. Like, would you be able, or would you be willing to enjoy the the most enjoyable worldly pleasures for 1 hour, and after that suffer the most heinous torture on your body for an hour. Nobody will be able or willing to do that, right? Because torture and pain is so much, it's not an equilibrium in this world. Pain weighs way more than joy in this world. That's what he's saying, and that's what he's trying to say. And and he's so right about that. Like, it doesn't add up. It doesn't weigh out. It's not yin yang at all. There's a lot of yang, and there's a
very little yin.
very little yin there.
Pay for
Come
it.
on, what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, that's what he's saying. I mean,
Yeah, I
and he's
understand
right,
it.
and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. It's not yin yang. It's yin 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 yin, and then there's some yang there. So you better enjoy the yang, or the other way around. And he's right about it. That's why I wanted to share it with you, because it's very profound. It's very deep. Yeah.
Actually take that deal. I haven't found anybody because the amount of pain possible here from some of these are plucking her eyeballs out, whatever. There's just the terrible things that can be done and have been done throughout history to people. And there is no pleasure. I can't imagine any pleasure that feels good enough that I would want to endure that kind of pain. Yet our creator has created a realm where that is exactly what happens. And I can imagine, and I've heard from near-death experiencers, that they feel pleasure even more so than they've ever experienced on the best drugs here once they get out of their body. Meanwhile, I can imagine a way of pain not hurting as much as it does. You could, have your whole arm cut off and have it just be like, oops, like you step back and there's no issue. It doesn't hurt, doesn't take any time. That could be possible. The Earth and our experience, everything has been designed exactly how it is and not otherwise, due to some intelligent being's purposeful design. And most people, for whatever reason, like you mentioned, seem to think that being is perfect and benevolent and wholly loving. And to think that way, you almost have to close your mind off to certain aspects of reality.
That's so deep. That's so profound. I mean, that's why I want to stop it here, right? Or pause it here, because I mean, he goes over so many things that a lot of people will take for granted, but he's asking the right questions and he's giving the right answers too. So, yeah, praise Eric once again.
Or do some kind of cope, or what I've termed have a spiritual Stockholm syndrome, to even be able to think that way. Though that is the main, belief system by pretty much every that a loving God put us here. Earth is like a school where we learn lessons, and ultimately we're going to evolve and go somewhere better. But I've got a lot of questions about why, if you're the creator, why create fallen, disempowered beings that need to go to school, and suffer through all these lifetimes?
And you all know, I mean, you all know me for quite a while. I don't like that narrative too, right? I don't like the narrative. Oh, we're in a school and we have to learn. Fuck that. That doesn't make any sense. And so Eric also addresses that, and he also doesn't agree. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think that we were not created bad. You know, why did God create us to be this way? I think that we were created good, like it says, in God's image, and I don't believe it was a physical image. Like a lot of people say, oh, God must be black, or God must be this, or God must be that. It's not physical, it's spiritual, you know, and that we were made in God's image originally and got broken.
Yeah, I think we that
Hey,
creation.
Callan.
I think that creation that you speak of got corrupted, right?
Yes, corrupted.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And that, you know, for whatever reason, that it's not a school necessarily. Maybe more like a workshop. You understand what I mean?
I like that. I like that. I like that as you know me. I just say no.
I know you would say.
Sounds good. Yeah. I mean,
I'm impressed with my own self.
but calling it a workshop, that will work.
Yeah, a workshop where we work on the flaws, and a lot of them are not our faults. You know, a lot of it.
No. And I will say it's a workshop. It's a workshop. It's a workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the flaws are not ours. It's like original, like, well, if you go very back to the beginning, you know, like my parents flawed me, but they were flawed themselves by their parents. You know, you take it all the way back to like Adam and Eve. And I think it might be a workshop to try and hammer out the corruption to make us pure again.
There's all kinds of tools and
it's individualized.
Ovens in this workshop, you know. I mean, it's everything you can think of is available in the world.
Yeah.
Why create fallen, disempowered beings that need to go to school, you know, and suffer through all these lifetimes to eventually evolve and then deserve to go to some better place, some heaven that you've created, then maybe they'll deserve to go there. Like, what is this whole process? If you are the creator of everything, what's the point of creating all of that? And why make it? There's so much suffering and confusion, because that's another big part of this. With a blackboard in front of the school saying, okay, here's the curriculum, here's what you got to do. No, we don't even have that. We have to guess at all of it. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely resonate with what you said. I think pain hurts more than pleasure feels good here. And
that in itself is such a profound statement.
I'll have to hear it again.
Okay.
And yeah, no, we don't even have that. We have to guess at all of it. And yeah, so I mean, I definitely resonate with what you said. I think pain hurts more than pleasure feels good here. And there are inherent.
Yeah, but that's so true.
Well, it's like avoidance therapy with a puppy.
No, it's not like you know, but people think no, it's also balanced. You know, there's so much good, and there's, you know, also maybe there's some bad, or maybe it's equal bad. No, that's not the truth. That's not the truth about this realm. You really have to try harder. You really have to slide some fences, or, you know, it's really a lot of like pain and suffering in this realm, and then there's just some good. I mean, it's not 50-50. It's not 50-50 at all.
Yeah.
And he's very right about that. And this is a guy who always was a yin yang Zen guy, right? He even moved to Thailand or where the fuck ever.
Yeah.
But he moved back, right? Because he thought he was entering into enlightenment, and people were also enlightened. He was like, nah, people are stupid here too.
It's universal.
It's universal stupidity. Yeah.
Stupid is everywhere.
And so I love the way he. I mean, I love the way he reasons. I mean, I'm not a very big Eric Dubé fan at all, but you know, this is a very good one. This is a very good one. I mean, he did some great things, though. You know, Eric Dubé. I mean, for Flat Earth and everything. And but I mean, what he has to say here, I'm sold.
Well, I have thought of a reason why. And, you know, it has to do with like training puppies and training animals. That the reason it might be imbalanced into negativity, like you say, it might be training. Like,
yeah,
you would make, if the puppy chews up the couch, you would make the consequences of that stronger negative than positive, so that they would avoid that behavior.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's more negative consequences here, that they want to cause us to avoid bad behavior. And more than a reward. You know, maybe rewards don't work.
So it's not necessarily a hell realm, but it's like a purgatory still.
Yeah, puppy training school.
Yeah.
Because, you know, maybe I'm thinking about a lot of people that if they get their blessings, they'd be dead in a week. Like a lot of people around here, they do. I mean, there was one guy that did. He was going to church and he came and stole the pickup because he had got some money. He got his COVID money and he went back on meth. So he got a blessing. He got money, and that's what happened to it. So I think that's why God does not give a lot of people their answers to their prayer, because they would die in a week. But sometimes the positive reinforcement doesn't work with some people. You know, you might say, "Oh God, you were good. Here's some money," instead of, "Oh, you were bad. Let's throw you in jail." What do you think?
I would buy even more meth.
I know it, and then you would end up in jail, and that would be
no.
So, oh God, I need some money. Thank you very much.
What? 20,000? Dear Lord. What? Oh, I'm gonna buy me a big rock today.
So it's not really a blessing. It would be in
I'm gonna
disguise.
show it up all around the hood. Look at my big white shining rock. Woo-hoo.
I'll tell you another story. For a while, I was broke and poor and didn't have a job and didn't have a car either, so I had to go someplace I could walk. So I took a job at the gas station. And this young boy pulled up in a limousine with about 3 or 4 friends. You could tell they were partying out. And he said he won at the casino. I don't remember how much. It was crap loads of money. That's what he was doing, partying it with his friends. His friends, I'm sure, were encouraging every bit of it. But I made a comment that I hope it seemed like it hit him. I said, "Boy, howdy, baby." I said, "That's enough money to change your life." And he was like, "Wow." You know, instead of partying it away with his buddies, it'll, last a week, if that.
Well, let me tell you some stories about that I know about one of my neighbors back in the 80s.
Okay.
And so his father was like a middle-class citizen, right? Middle-class family, hardworking middle-class family. And so he was kind of a spoiled brat, right? He became to be a kind of a spoiled brat. And so his hobby was robbing banks.
Oh my goodness.
That was his hobby. I mean, yeah. And he and his friends, like in the 70s and the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, he would be robbing banks.
Just for fun, probably.
Well, not just for fun, also for the money. But they would spend the money. They would, you know, they would enter the store naked and say, "Dress me, dress," you know, and people, you know, they would walk out, and
I've never tried that
they would
before.
walk out like 12 hours later with like a tight, very tight fit dress, like a very tight Italian suit, and they would go to the hookers. Like, look at me, I mean, they would have that money, and they would just spend it in a fucking weekend,
Wow.
And then they would do it again because they didn't get caught. They were like, oh, that's fucking easy. That was fun. Have some Coke, have some champagne, have some hookers, have some brand new suits.
See, they should have
Oh,
gotten some negative consequences from that.
I mean, just like in the movies.
Oh my
We
gosh.
fucking lived that life. They did live that life.
How long?
Yeah, I mean, that only lasts you like a couple of years, and then
Oh, dang.
yeah, well,
That's still pretty good for a couple years.
yeah, and then they did a couple of years in jail. It's not too much.
Really? I mean, considering as a trade-off.
No, there's that. No, it wasn't decades. No, just a couple.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
But see, it's like that saying, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. But taking that to the other way, if you can do the time, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't think like that. Do not do bad.
Drugs are bad.
Hurts more than pleasure feels good here. And there are inherent negatives and unnecessary evils here, like chronic and degenerative illnesses, mental psychoses, parasites, natural disasters, and the biggest one that you mentioned, the food chain, the fact that every being has to eat the life energy of other living things just to continue their life. So the whole thing about life here is that life has to consume life to continue life. What a dumb way to set up your system if you're a wholly benevolent, perfect, and loving creator. If that was the case, don't set up a system where life needs to feed upon life.
No, that was just a beautiful answer to that. But if you notice something else, people rarely die of old age. Like you always hear like someone's died of a disease, like literally 95% of the time. Like people don't go peaceful, like very rare people go peacefully. It's always they die of something.
Yeah, almost always. I don't know.
Well,
that's one of my
but I mean,
is
that just comes with the system. People die of something because they are diagnosed, right? If they are not diagnosed, they don't die of something.
They just die.
They just basically are dead, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
When you find them, they are dead.
Yeah. Now they have to figure out why. But yeah, in the past, it was like, oh, well, they just died.
Yeah.
Unless it was something obvious.
Yeah.
When it is my time to go, that I don't have to suffer or go through some kind of disease. I wish that of everybody, that everyone could just peacefully go either in their sleep or when they wanted to. It would make more sense if we could just out of body. If this is a school, why can't we leave? If this isn't a prison, why can't we go out of here? School, you go home at the end of the day, and then you come back because you want to. Whereas a prison, you can't. And here on Earth, it seems that way to me. It seems more like a prison. There's people that claim that they can travel out of body, but they come right on back, and they're still here. Maybe some people who die are advanced out of body travelers who make it to a better spiritual dimension, and they're like, peace out. There's no way I'm coming back. And we would never know that. I hold hope that that is a possibility, and that maybe it's easier to do something like that when you're closer to death, like the veil is a bit thinner, and so you may be able to kind of exit gracefully.
It's quite deep, huh? What do you think, Mary? And that's only the first 30 minutes. So shall we listen to the rest, or?
If you want to, or I could kidnap you, either way.
If you have the gnosis, that would be what the Gnostics say. They say the Gnostics and Cathars are the two kind of ancient religions that are the only two that I've found that are different. Buddhism in some ways also, that are different than the prevailing world religions that all have like a benevolent, loving, perfect God. There's a monad or an unknowable God. But beneath that, there's a whole storyline, just like in the Bible, where there's lesser gods. And supposedly there was this goddess called Sophia, who wanted to create on her own without the help of a male. And she created
I don't need no man.
a demiurge, who then created archons and created Earth and created humans and animals and everything, and supposedly to steal our light energy. And so this demiurge was more like Satan than God, but he wanted to be treated like God, and being a jealous God and not wanting anyone to think of there being any other gods. In the Gnostic version, the Old Testament God is this demiurge, whereas the New Testament God that sent Jesus here is the monad, the one true unknowable God. So the deception that kind of happened with the Bible and Gnosticism is that by taking out some of these Gnostic texts, like the Apocryphon of John and the Pistis Sophia, they left us with an incomplete version of the Bible that makes it seem like the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament are the exact same person, when they are the exact opposite in every way. And then we have to have a bunch of weird cope and hypocritical explanations to try and explain why God changed so much from one book to the next. I'm getting a bit off topic, but that is why, like Gnosticism, early Christianity makes more sense to me than the current version of Christianity, where a lot of these essential texts have been taken out, and so your content in a way that never made sense to me. But then when reintroduced with the extra biblical text, the Gnostic Gospels, makes a whole lot more sense. And it's still just mythology. So I mean, I don't know about all the names and places and people and everything, but as a general story for an explanation of why we're here, how we're here, what this realm is, how it was set up, it does resonate in certain ways, especially this aspect of the creator of this realm not being the ultimate creator, and perhaps the creator of this realm being a more negative entity, and the ultimate creator being either outside of its control or allowing him to do this, or wanting us personally to find a way out of here or back to him through gnosis, which is what the Gnostics believe.
Sure, and I'm glad you went into Gnosticism, because that kind of leads me on to my next question anyway, where that topic was going to arise. So great answer, by the way. I'd like to come back to this area of research shortly, but for now, I'd like to address the dominant belief systems that are ingrained in the Flat Earth community. Probably for me, the most controversial being that this world was created by a loving, benevolent God who is an evolution and inner growth. So again, it was good that you brought all those areas like Gnosticism into that, because now that really easily gets us onto this next question. So question 2, Flat Earth and the loving God paradigm. Now, this belief has definitely been pushed by some very prominent Flat Earthers who have a big social media following, and they often come out with such statements such as, you can't be, is yes, there is a creator, but that creator is not a benevolent, loving God, but rather a demiurge who has many names. But I guess the one most will be familiar with is the one that you've already mentioned when you answered the first question, which is the Gnostic version called Yud-Baoth. And We can get into that as deep as we want, but the short summary of that is our reality is managed by malevolent entities called archons, who in turn serve the demiurge Yaldabaoth. Do you think the loving God concept is the general dominant consensus of the flat earth wisdom of that community at the exclusion of all of the possibilities?
Yeah, I do think that is by far the general dominant consensus of the majority of flat earthers, as well as pretty much every major religion and New Age belief system. But for me, the concept of a holy, loving, and benevolent God being solely responsible for all creation doesn't resonate with me nearly as much as something like the Gnostic perspective, which allows room for nuance and makes much more sense. I think of like the there's a it's called the Epicurean trilemma. There's a quote by Epicurus. He says, "Is God not omnipotent? Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he neither able nor willing? Then why call him God?" So there's like, it's called the trilemma. It's more than a dilemma. There's three parts to it. If God is unable to prevent evil, then he's not all powerful. If he's not willing to prevent evil, then he's not all good. And if he's both willing and able to prevent evil, then why does evil exist? And or humans, it's our fault. But humans and or Satan were created by this God. So ultimately, the only being that has pure free will would be the creator, the ultimate creator. And to say that Satan, this like scapegoat created by the creator, who then is responsible for all evil and negative actions. Oh, he's supposed to create this nemesis and then blame everything on him. And or with humans, they'll often say, "No, it's us. We fell. We chose something wrong in the Garden of Eden, or it's due to our sin." And with that, I would say it's kind of the same issue. Well, why create fallen beings? Or, why make original sin so simple? You just, don't eat this apple, and then you eat an apple, and now thousands of years of humanity is now condemned to sin for this one action. It just seems like this petty and an overreaction, and that we don't have nearly the amount of agency that we should have as created beings here. But to get back to your initial question, it does seem like the flat Earth community, mostly Gnostic Christians. Very few are that. And the few that are other religions, often I find it almost seems like they're Christians first and flat earthers second, or Hindus first and flat earthers second, in the sense that when they come across flat Earth, they see it as, we can now use scientific facts and demonstrations to show another part of our book is true, because flat Earth is present in pretty much every religion. But I would say that's not to show that each religious scripture is now true, every bit of each religious scripture is true because flat Earth is in it. No, I would say that it's because that was the prevailing dominant worldview at the time when those scriptures were written. The spinning globe heliocentric model wasn't in any of those scriptures because it wasn't a prevailing worldview. The geocentric flat Earth was. So I kind of see it the opposite there. And I prefer people to leave religion and belief out of, or at least to the side of this topic, because flat Earth is like, it's one of the things you can know in this lifetime. it's empirical, it's demonstrable, it's scientific. You can do experiments to prove it. Whereas various religions and the claims made by various scriptures, those are not scientific or demonstrable or empirical in that way. And when you mix the two in like they're part and parcel of one and the same, people who are new to the subject will often just see the walls than the globe believing Christians. You're a flat earth Christian, so they'll just listen to you even less. So yeah, I like to try and keep religious subjects separate from. I don't necessarily think flat earth and Gnosticism or anything need to go together, but as a truther, as a researcher, as someone that's interested in trying to get to the bottom of this reality, those are subjects that certainly are going to, you're going to come across at some time as cosmology and religion. So yeah.
Sure. Do you think it's happens to a lot of these people where religion acts like a filtration system for the flat Earth
I wonder if flat Earth is
model
more of a Western
to go through? Then, like it almost acts like a filtration system, doesn't it? And it's a comforting. Okay, there is
what's that, Greek Mary? Sorry.
I haven't wanted to interrupt. Well, I wonder, they're saying that it's mainly because a lot of Christian belief and a lot of, the slant on things is that. And so I wondered, what about the population of the flat earth community? Are they mainly Western Christian people that would be the predominant view?
Well, I would say I would rather make a case for the other way around. I think a lot of people came to faith and creationism
through that idea.
Yeah, through flat Earth, instead of flat Earth reconfirming Christians that the Bible is right. So that's it's like the whole other side.
What do other religions believe? Because I think there's truth in religion and myth.
Yeah. I think the Quran also says it's a flat Earth, and Hindu also. I don't know about Jainism. That's also a very big religion in the world that nobody ever speaks about. But Jani or Janu, yeah, Jainism.
Is it spelled with a J? J-I-A-N?
J-A-N-I.
Okay.
Jainism, yeah. It's an Asian religion.
Okay.
God, and it coincides with my flat Earth beliefs. So, do you think it's a bit of a comfort thing?
I think all religion inevitably is a comfort thing because it's a confusing reality. Like I said, there's no ultimate playbook or God coming and showing us things that's objectively true. Some people think they hear voices or they think this book is God's book, but it's not objectively so. You can't know something or make everyone objectively believe that this book came from God. He wrote it himself. You can't. That's a subjective thing. And I think religion and the answers that it gives to these really unanswerable questions. We can't really know these answers to these metaphysical questions while we're in physical bodies in a physical world. But it does give you a feeling of security and safety. It's like a blanket of beliefs that you can cover yourself with and no longer have to worry about all these questions and all these negative things that we're talking about too. If you just give yourself a dose of spiritual Stockholm syndrome and tell yourself that a holy, loving God is going to whisk you away to heaven, and all you have to do is thank him and believe in him. Well, that's another part, is the belief. That's the opposite of critical thinking and questioning. So
critical thinking.
You hinge your eternal afterlife in heaven on being unquestioning and non-critical, isn't it? Just by virtue of questioning that religion, just by virtue of having a critical thought, you have to go through a whole existential crisis about whether or not God's going to accept you into heaven now because you're questioning him and everything. Now your belief comes into question. Do I believe hard enough? And for me, belief is just a weak epistemic function to base an eternity on. And I really don't think God would do that to us. I don't think he'd bestow us with critical thoughts and brains that can analyze things and come to logical conclusions, but then want us to disband that and instead use this other function called belief and just go ahead with that. And only the few humans that disband their logic and critical thinking and go only with blind belief will make it to his special heavenly place.
It's what you have to
Everybody
do.
else will, come back here, or who knows what.
You
So,
have to
yeah,
suspend
it's
your
comforting
logical,
to think that
critical
way. It's
brain and have faith and belief.
And then you will end up on a globe in space, in endless meaninglessness, on the way to nowhere, coming from wherever. So yeah, I mean, that will get you somewhere.
Think that God is benevolent and all loving and is going to whisk us away to
That
heaven.
does sound
if we just
depressing.
believe hard enough. That has never resonated with me. And I don't think a God that is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient would be fooled by my pretend belief in him. I think he would see through the fact that I'm just a critical thinker and a questioner, and I just can't do the blind belief.
Yeah, that's why he's always going to
Right.
be held back.
Question 3. Connection between Gnosticism and flat Earth. I can certainly speak from my own journey and say that the conclusions I have come to all lead to the fact that our Earth realm is a prison created for the sole purpose of harvesting negative low vibrational energy, also called this energy, back into the matrix to keep it continuously running. Let's get a few things straight. We are not here to learn. We are not here to grow. We are not here to evolve. We are not here to learn how to love. That one infuriates me the most. I hear it all the time. Okay, common one. I believe not a single soul at their core would choose to come into this reality where living organisms have to trample over and feed off other living organisms for their own survival. We have either been tricked or coerced into coming here, or if we chose to come here, we were not given full disclosure as to what we are coming into. From your own research, have you found any connection or integration of this Gnostic viewpoint to the flat Earth model, whether it be through ancient records, current research, or means of
Also makes more sense that we were tricked or coerced into coming here than that we were given complete, full disclosure about all the negatives and of physical incarnation. As for a connection or integration of the Gnostic viewpoint with the flat Earth model, if Earth is an extended level plane covered by a dome firmament, which is what the early Gnostics and many others of the time period believed, then the idea that we're entrapped in a physical prison becomes quite literal. The current model of infinite outer space and planets and trillions of other worlds sounds much more hopeful and free. Even like an infinite plane flat Earth theory is similar, allowing for infinite freedom and creativity within this physical realm. But if we were confined within an inescapable dome, the spiritual geography of that kind of situation should make you question, why am I locked in this world of physical strife and suffering with no escape but death? And quite likely, escape isn't happening for most then either. That's the message of Buddhism and Hinduism and like the Tibetan and Egyptian books of the dead, and many near-death experiencers have found that they just get sent right back here. And if you don't ascend, if you don't have the correct intention or the correct and having to come back here anyway. So in that sense, a flat, enclosed, prison-like earth in the physical realm does resonate in the spiritual realm if we are in some kind of reincarnation soul trick, soul trap. We're physically trapped potentially, and we're spiritually trapped potentially. And I say potentially because we're talking skeptically now at this point. We haven't ventured to beyond Antarctica to touch a dome firmament or to know 100% that we're enclosed. There's certain things that we can intuit that we very likely are enclosed. Just like the reverberations of thunder and the way the fixed stars are all fixed seemingly in this one unit that moves all at once. It does seem, and of course all these ancient cultures say that there's a solid vault of the sky. It does seem that that is a possibility, that we could be trapped in here like that. And then correlate that with, like I said, the message from Buddhism, Hinduism, Tibetan and Egyptian books of the dead, and their death experiencers, basically saying that leaving this realm isn't as easy, or it's not just going to happen on its own. There's steps, there's a process, and it seems like very few actually escape. So if that's what we're contending with, it's a very different afterlife struggle than, say, what contemporary Christians think. Like I'm saying that a lot of contemporary Christians just think, I have to believe in Jesus hard enough, and I'll make it to heaven.
I think he's so right about that, right? And also history writes about it, right? There's not many people that travel through this realm and step into the so-called next realm or into the next stage. It's like almost unobtainable, coming from a culture that we have been grown from.
Yeah, because I think a lot of that is disappeared from most cultures. It's been discounted as native primitive superstition to believe in anything besides, like he's talking about, your thinking.
Yeah.
I forget what he was using as his word for thinking in just a purely concrete way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has confused a lot of people. I mean, because if you don't have any kind of belief, I can see being confused when you die.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I think that there is a spiritual realm, and I think that it has been. The words have been erased because they don't want people to be aware of it and to think about it.
Yeah. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe if that's what the afterlife holds for us, but if it's actually more of a prison realm in this sense, a being, whether Jesus, if you believe in Jesus, or your great grandfather, if he was your most loved person, somebody that you see as an authority figure shows up at death and then tries to get you to reincarnate, to come back to this place in various ways. If you just think believing in Jesus and doing whatever he says is what's going to get you to heaven, then it's as simple as an archon appearing like Jesus and telling you to step through this portal, and then you can, maybe coming right back into a womb or whatever the case may be. But the point being that if you're giving your critical faculty away to an authority figure instead of using it yourself in your moment-to-moment reality to decide what you're going to do next, you're so much more easily manipulated. And I suggest people retain that faculty. Ability to think critically and analytically has shown me more truth than blindly believing and having faith in things. Belief and faith are the opposite of
Yeah, it is.
critical thought. And I don't think it's an accident that certain religions require that of us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
By the way, some religions don't even require faith or belief. They just require submission. It's called Islam.
Yeah.
That's translation of the word Islam is called submission.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, because you do have to sublimate your own desires to what God wants and be submissive to what God wants, or not. But I think a lot of it can be lazy, and people would rather act good than be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why there's so many rule books. It's like, okay, if you do this on Sunday, then you're good.
Then you're good.
Yeah. If you act right.
You're good in this book. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of it, it's, you don't have to be good from the inside out, which, leads to, I think, good and right action. It's more reversed. It's like, if you do good, that's good enough.
Yeah.
If you act right, even if you aren't really.
Feminine, is that like a blanket that covers the flat Earth model? Is that what we mean by a feminine? Some sort of shield? Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, that's the word the Bible uses for the enclosure, for the covering, and it seems to be usually portrayed in a dome shape. But those are all things that I'm still wondering. They're still up in the air for me. I'm more an empirical type person, 100% sure. And until I've actually died or met my maker, I can't really say anything 100% about it. I'm not confident about these things. And I think everybody should take that stance, because that's the realistic stance. Anything beyond that is going beyond the bounds of our actual attainable knowledge.
Sure. And the concept of Yaldabaoth and the Archons, I know we can never know for sure, but do you see them as actual physical bodies that exist outside of this realm, or do you see them, or do you see Yaldabaoth as like a conscious AI energy? How do you perceive that?
Yeah, I think about that as well. In my mind, when I'm thinking about these kind of concepts, like I kind of waver between a disembodied consciousness, a bunch of disembodied consciousnesses vying for things and creating things, or sometimes I'll give them angelic or demonic shapes and imagine them that way. I do wonder about that, like what, like Sophia, and they're given male and female aspects as well. So I wonder what they actually mean when they're mythologizing these concepts. Are these personified aspects of consciousness? I tend to think usually along those lines.
They're the old gods,
esoteric and
that
difficult to grasp either way.
Yeah. I guess it's how you personally perceive it, really, isn't it, as well? But I'm glad you mentioned a little bit about reincarnating, because that's kind of does lead to my next question. So, question 4, the soul trap. The common theme of the soul trap is that after we die, we are led into a bright light by a loved one or someone who was close to you. The result is that you are tricked into reincarnating back to Earth without being given full disclosure of the consequences that come along with this choice. However, my personal research has led me to the conclusion that not all souls reincarnate back to our Earth realm due to the following reasons. A, if every soul was reincarnated back to Earth, there would be a massive explosion in population. You are talking billions upon billions of souls being reincarnated over and over again. B, some souls remain as earthbound spirits or become ghosts, which can be detected in poltergeist cases or hauntings. Do you think it is possible that some souls reincarnate not necessarily back into our Earth plane, but beyond the flat Earth ice wall, where there may be other civilizations, or even into other parallel universes / dimensions or realities?
Yeah, there's some speculation. Totally. I mean, could the creation of souls and individuated conscious units be something as simple as putting together a new model on an assembly line at a factory? Or are there already a set number of souls pre-existing to choose from? Or can they just come into existence whenever they're out of stock and a new couple has sex on Earth? I would guess there's a huge surplus of souls somewhere, or that they can be easily created, because I've never heard of a time when all of humanity just stopped being able to get pregnant. That would make for an interesting premise for a movie, though. The spirit world runs out of souls, so nobody can get pregnant anymore. No, I don't know. I've thought about that exact thing
No,
before,
they're supposed to
whether
be born without
there are a
souls.
number of pre-existing souls that were already created, or can
They're supposed to be born without souls, according to Edgar Cayce. And even, oh God, who's that woman? Oh God, I can't think of her name. But yeah, there are supposed to be people born without souls in the final last days.
Could be. Yeah, I've seen them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I wonder too, people talk about the soul trap and don't go to the light, but I haven't heard anybody talk about what happens, if you don't go to the light, if you turn away, what's the other option? Are there multiple options?
Well, apparently if you don't go to the light, you come back to Earth to tell the people to not go to the light. I mean,
Oh. But what happens if you go to the light? If you go to the light, you're supposed to still get recycled.
yeah, well, I mean, give me a better explanation. I mean,
I know it. I don't know.
I guess it's a catch-22 there. I don't know.
Because I don't know, but it just occurred to me, to ask. Because everybody talks about, well, not everybody, but, like Ian and his soul trap thing. That's what they say. Don't go to the light. It's a trick.
How would you know? And if you didn't go to the light, how did you get back here to tell us?
Yeah. So what happens if you don't go to the light?
Well, see, and how do the people know that tell us not to go back to the light, not to go into the light? Why are they still here when they know it?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Are they just like created on an assembly line at will? It calls into question the very notion of what is a soul, or what is individuated consciousness. Some people separate it into spirit, soul, and body, and so that they make a difference between the spirit and the soul. And some Gnostics I've even heard say that like the spirit would be the element that comes from the one true unknowable God, and that's where we get our rebelliousness. That's where we get love. That's where we get certain aspects that weren't given to us by the demiurge. Whereas they would say that the soul and the physical body and this whole physical world was created by the demiurge, and the implant that we get in our consciousness from the demiurge is ego. And ego, self-centeredness and selfishness and whatever other trappings go along with the ego are what is meant by that. And that gets back into that whole mythology thing. It's like, are these beings somewhere, or are these aspects
I think the
of
ego is the
consciousness?
result of free
Could
will.
the demiurge just be another word for ego and a part of our consciousness that is negative? And then the other, like Sophia, philosophy comes from this idea. Sophie is wisdom, and
wow.
Philosophy is the love of wisdom. So could that just be a metaphor? So Sophie as wisdom is breaking off from the one ultimate consciousness, but then without some other aspect needed, maybe intelligence, or I don't know, something else that wisdom needs, it created, and it had what they say that this creation was a broken mirror image of the Pleroma being the heavenly realm that they came from. And that would also explain how people will say, like, well, this realm isn't all negative. The nature's beautiful, and there's love, and there's certain positive aspects here, of course. But that could be because those elements come from the one unknowable God. Those come from your spirit. Those versus the ego and your soul, which may come from another aspect of this created dimension.
Sure. I mean, I always wonder sometimes that if the Gnostics and the Cathars had this knowledge, like if you're a Gnostic and you know this, like why would you have children? Because you're just creating a vessel for the soul to come into. Like, I know it's a bit of a weird thought, I know, but you just like stop having children because you'd want to.
Well, a lot of them did. I mean, it was a thing that the Cathars, especially, they were seen as anti-natalist and didn't have children. And it's especially interesting that a sect that would essentially breed itself out, the disbreed itself out of existence because they're not even having children. That was the first group that the Catholic Crusade, the Inquisition, sent to disband, was the Cathars. So like the Inquisition didn't start for Muslims or anything like that. The very first people they used that on was this group of Christians that believed differently than the predominant Christians. And their belief was this anti-natalist belief that bringing new souls to this world was a bad thing and that we shouldn't do it. And that what they called the Rex Mundi was the leader of this world, which is essentially Satan. And that we were supposed to detach from all material things, similar to Buddhism. They preached detachment from the material world and even our physical bodies so that we would return to the spiritual plane. And they say that it was our attachments and addictions and base desires that kept us coming back here. And that's similar to Buddhism as well. So the recommendation for that line of thought, if you believe that way, if you think that way, then the way to move on from here is to have non-attachment to physical things and to not desire things in the physical world and to just let it go, basically. And so that when death comes, there's no bit of our consciousness that's trying to come back here or retain something here. And we're just totally ready to go on to the next thing. That's another possibility. It's tough to, like I said, there's no curriculum, so we don't know what answers to give on the multiple choice test when it comes time. It's almost like, oh, A, B, or C. I don't know. Well, we'll try this one.
Sure. No, it's a great answer, nonetheless. Okay. Question 5, fraudulent soul trap experts. With Gnosticism and the soul trap concept gaining more traction over the last, I'd say maybe 2 to 3 years especially, there also seems to be more and more so-called experts in the field of this research, as many mystics, psychics, out-of-body and near-death experiences claim that they have the answer as to how we escape the soul trap. We have podcasters such as Jeff Mara who interview such people. Now, I have a real problem with some of what these people have to say for the following reasons. 1, many of them claim that their way is the right way. 2, there is no coherence between these people. Most of them will agree that we live in a simulation, but the deeper it goes down the rabbit hole, the more their opinions differ. 3, to sum it up, they can't all be right. I've heard some of them say such things like, we have come here to learn how to love, which is an absolute lie, in my opinion. We have awareness of true love before we get here. It is after we come here into this realm thanks to the indoctrination system, we unlearn that version of love and replace it with the Matrix's version of love, especially with the Jeff Mara interviews. If you listen to 50 of them, you will be no better off compared to when you started. Now, do you think this is a deliberate attempt to confuse, disorientate, and derail us by the Archons? And in your opinion, what is the ultimate and most plausible answer as to how we escape the soul trap?
I've noticed that same thing with channelers, out-of-body experiencers, and other so-called experts on those kind of subjects. Like I said, it's essentially just anecdotal hearsay, because the expert can never be physically tested or proved wrong about their assertions. So how can we know if anyone living has actually found the correct answer to transcending the soul trap? We can't. The Gnostics are so-called because their belief was that through gnosis, or spiritual knowledge, that we would be able to ascend from here. In Spiritual Stockholm Syndrome, I have 4 chapters outlining what I found through my research and understanding to be keys to transcending the soul trap, that being intention, revoking soul contracts, recapitulation, and preparing our consciousness for death through practices like out-of-body experiences, psychedelics, lucid dreaming, and meditation. And again, these are just ideas, but it makes sense to me that the main thing that we would need to transcend this world would be the intention to do so, the intention not to come back here. And that feeds into what I just said about detachment and non-desire. So you can't have desire for material things in the physical world or be attached to certain people or places or things if your ultimate intention is to go to heaven or to go somewhere else, to not come back here. So fixing that intention certainly would be paramount. And then people talk about there being soul contracts. I don't know if this is a thing or not, but if we agreed to come here potentially, and maybe we agreed to have our memory wiped, because if we did reincarnate here, if we have come back here many times, I don't remember it. Most everybody else doesn't remember it, except for a few people that have been scrutinized, and there's been many, many volumes of books written about them that do remember past lives and can show to painstaking degree that they remember details that have been confirmed by people still living. So I do think reincarnation has been evidenced over and over again, just like Dr. Ian Stevenson, for example, has 6 volumes with like 4,000 cases of reincarnation, where he's traveled to these places and met with these children that remember aspects of their past life. And then he'll like go to their old village and they'll be able to direct them, give them directions, even though they've never traveled there. And then once they get there, they're like, oh, I remember this place, and oh, that's the post office. And then they'll find people and they know their nicknames and know stories and things that there's no way they could ever know of these people they've never met. And the people that they meet believe them. They're like, oh my gosh, you are my husband reincarnated. There's so many stories like that. It's a very interesting subject to look into. But so if that is the case, that we're reincarnated over and over again, and you don't want to be, and that is the message in Buddhism and Hinduism, is that you should want to ascend from here. We are reincarnated here as a failure. The success, what happens in a success is that you don't reincarnate here. So if we had a contract that, okay, I'll reincarnate and you can wipe my memory and then I have to start all over again, I would say that you weren't given full disclosure as is necessary in contracts. You weren't shown the complete scope of what physical suffering and multiple lifetimes would be like before signing such a contract. So part of intention would be to revoke any of those contracts. And even in our contract law, not being given full disclosure is reason enough for termination. And I would think it should be the same in the spiritual realm. If we weren't given full disclosure about what we were signing up for, well, that contract should be null and void. And we can hopefully maybe prepare our consciousness in those other ways I said, like meditation, lucid dreaming, psychedelics, or out-of-body experiences, because these are ways that we can disassociate our consciousness from this physical realm. So when you're in meditation, it's just all about your consciousness. You're not thinking anything at all, and you're not doing anything in the physical realm. Likewise, psychedelics, they have this way of taking you out of the physical reality and bringing you to sometimes to a whole different dimension, like a spiritual world with elves and leprechauns and stuff, similar to lucid dreaming, which is being conscious while dreaming. So I wonder if the after death state might be something like that, or out of body experience, which is also similar. It's a dreamlike state where your consciousness is separated from your physical body, and you only have a certain level of control. Like when you're lucid dreaming, you can control whatever thing you are actively thinking about, because you know you're dreaming, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go for a swim now. And then you're swimming, but then suddenly maybe a waterfall appears and you're like, I didn't mean for that to happen. And you might, if you're conscious enough, you can just get rid of the waterfall and make a nice calm river again. But often what happens is you start to slowly fall into your dream consciousness. And so instead of just getting rid of the waterfall, you'll start swimming against the current to try not to get to the waterfall. And so you'll slowly become the dream character again and lose the power of lucidity that you should have had and you originally had in your dream. I always have these two problems. That'll either happen, or my lucidity will increase to the point that I just wake up, because I'm so aware of the fact that I'm just laying there dreaming that I can't really maintain the dream anymore. I'm just kind of awake now. So lucid dreaming has been interesting for me in that sense, that it's very difficult to maintain balance of lucidity and not wake up completely or fall back into the dream, so that I'm no longer actually lucid, and then it just goes back into being a normal old dream like every old night. So anyway, I say all that just to say that potentially me practicing these kind of things, doing these exercises with my consciousness and getting accustomed to how consciousness works outside of physical daily life, is probably a good training ground for when we die and our physical consciousness is separated from our physical, and our consciousness is separated from our physical body.
Sure. Have you noticed in these past life memories that, like especially with children and what have you, that they remember the past lives of that life, but they don't remember what occurred in between the two lives?
Some people
do you
do
find that
remember.
interesting? That okay, we can remember the life, but they don't remember in between that life and this life, like the transition phase. Like, I've not read any accounts of anyone who has any memory of that. Do you know of any anyone who's researched it to that degree, or does that just not exist?
Yeah, none of the ones I've read have gotten into that. I've heard like Dolores Cannon and some hypnosis people, they've supposedly hypnotized people back to the between life states. And so you've got people under hypnosis giving accounts of what they say happened between lives. But again, that to me, that's, who knows what's going on there. You could be tapping into just their imagination and they're weaving a story. But as far as the reincarnation children who are, they're able to scientifically verify these kind of things, that's more veracious in my eyes. But no, I don't see them talking about the between life state, nor do I see them talking about previous lifetimes before their last one. So at most, they're only ever able to remember their last incarnation, which also speaks to the idea that there may be some kind of memory wipe, that we're supposed to and it is probably successful for every other lifetime before that, because they're not retaining memories of lifetime after lifetime. So there are ideas in like Hindu religion of the Akashic records, the idea that all experience and all of history, everything that's ever happened, all people, is recorded somewhere and able to be re-experienced and relived. It kind of makes sense to me that if an intelligent being is going to design this entire place and throw people in here, you might as well record the whole thing so that we we can go back and look at it. So that's a possibility as well. I'm not sure though.
Sure. No, I mean, when I reflect on my own life, I turned vegan when I was 37. I'm 43 now, and I always sort of reflect on my own life and think to myself, if I chose to come here, why would I choose to pay to kill animals for food for, say, 36 or 37 years of my life? Why would I choose that? Because you hear people say, you chose to come here. It was your choice to come here. Well, if someone gave me an offer and says, you get to go to Earth, you get to experience all this entertainment, all these wonderful things, nature and family, but here's the curveball, you have to pay to kill animals for food for so many years of your life. Do you want in? I'd be like, get out of here. I'm not going there. Why would I choose that? I'd be like, well, hang on a minute. I'm not contributing to that. So, this is the thing. I would say people at their core, I can't understand how anyone would choose unless they've been tricked. As what you said earlier, I would agree with you and say it's more trickery as well.
Yeah, no. Tony Sayers, I think, coined the soul trick versus the soul trap. A lot of people don't care for the idea of being trapped and that terminology. Personally, I don't care what you call it. It's the concept is what matters. But yeah, that we're tricked into being come here does kind of seem likely as well, because in near-death experiences, like I said, the beings of light or whatever just seem to be telling us what we want to hear to get us to come back here. So it's more of a trick. But there may be an element of it that is a trap or a prison, in the sense of some people, they're trying to be coerced into coming back, and they don't want to come back, and they're quite adamant. And then eventually they just are forced back. So there are cases like that. Most people, it's simple to just coerce them into coming back here. Tell them you've got a mission that isn't complete yet on this life. You've got children. What would it be like if they don't have mommy or daddy? And that's enough for people to be sent right back in the near-death experiences. But a few people don't want to, and they rage against it, and they find themselves back here anyway. And so it's a possibility that potentially we're forced back here if we can't be coerced back here. And it could be a much more of a fight to get out than even I recognize. If that's the case, I don't even know how it would be if there's powerful spiritual beings that first try to coerce us into coming back, but then if they can't do that, they use their power to force us into coming back. Then it would seem like we need to get on our spiritual training ground right away after we die, start lifting spiritual weights and hope that we can take them on if that's the case.
For sure. That's a scary thought. Okay. All right. So moving on to question 6. Okay. An archonic plan gone wrong. One question that regularly pops up is, why would they spend thousands of years and work so hard to achieve this goal of the New World Order? If Yaldabaoth and his Archons are going to create a slave matrix reality, why not create it how they want from the get-go, rather than creating it half-ass and then work so damn hard to manipulate it to how they want it to an end goal? Now, my own theory is that it was originally intended to be a New World Order slave reality from the beginning, but it's possible that something went wrong in the creation process, or some alternate energy intervened, causing mass disruption, resulting in a Stone Age version of the Matrix, causing them to be in a situation where they are having to work extremely hard to achieve a peak goal. In the movie The Matrix, Agent Smith says that the original Matrix was designed so that everyone would be happy, but the system wouldn't work. But if it was created this way, then no one would have any reason to question reality. What is your answer to this?
I always think of that exact scene in The Matrix with reference to this idea, but I always think of it in the opposite of how he says it. Because people will always have the same objection when you discuss the abundant, inherent, and ultimately unnecessary negatives present in this reality. They'll talk about the beauty of nature and sunsets and flowers and puppies and bunnies and insist that this can't be a hellish prison realm because it's not 100% negative. And if they tried to create a louche farm that was nothing but fire, brimstone, torture, and suffering 24/7, everyone would achieve gnosis and know to escape instinctively, right? But so by incorporating just enough positive elements into our experience here, it becomes easy to fool the vast majority. You know, just the fact that nature is beautiful and we have love in our hearts, for example, is enough for people to think that this creation must be that of a benevolent and holy loving creator. But that doesn't take into account, like I said, that we could be like the Gnostic version says that our consciousness comes from the one true unknowable God. So the love that we feel in our hearts does come from that good place. And that this realm was a broken mirror image of the pleroma of heaven. So heaven, all the good things that you might see here could be part of that broken mirror image, and the negative things have been added into it. So that could explain the existence of all the positive things here. And like I said, similar to that Matrix quote, if everything was just negative 100% all the time and it was obvious to everyone, I don't know that the idea of a louche farm, or as the Gnostic Gospels say, extracting our light energy, I don't know that they'd be able to extract our light energy if we knew that we were just in a suffering torture realm 24/7. So it helps the system to have a veneer of positivity and goodness so that it fools the majority of people, especially if you want them to reincarnate and actually want to come back here. But ultimately, like I said, pain is more painful than pleasure is pleasurable. So this idea that this is some benevolent, loving creation just falls to pieces with that and the food chain, the fact that everything needs to eat the life out of everything else just to stay alive. It becomes a psychopathic domain. We could just be given natural nutrients, or we could, there's a bunch of ways that we could survive without the way that it's set up here. But it's purposely been set up in this way so that we have to kill each other and eat the life. We can't even kill each other and stock it up. We have to we have to ingest recently deceased life energy, right? So we have to keep killing things all the time and eat the life energy that we just killed so that we can stay alive in this realm. How on earth is that the setup of a holy, loving, and benevolent creator? It sounds like the setup of the exact opposite. And the veneer of positivity and beauty that nature has is just that. And nature isn't even that beautiful. If you were stuck alone, not in society, in modern society, with people around you, the state of nature is quite brutal. You would likely be starving. You'd be suffering through the elements, rain and everything, the mosquitoes. And eventually you'd probably just get eaten by a bear one night when you're trying to sleep or something like that. I mean, that's the state of nature, or you starve to death because it's very difficult to find enough food or to grow yourself enough food in various climates. The state of nature is not all beauty. There's quite a bit of, negativity and suffering inherent in that picturesque landscape that people like to kind of have a rosy view of.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger and me and my brother were playing in the garden and we caught a spider catching a fly in its web, and the spider was wrapping its web around the fly. And I said to my brother, gosh, we've got to save the fly because otherwise it's going to die and get eaten. And my brother said, no, stop. If you save the fly, the spider will die. And even then I got I was really confused as a child. I'm like, okay, hang on a minute. Okay, so if I save the fly, the spider dies because the spider doesn't eat. If we save, if we do it the opposite way around, then the other insect dies. So and even then I was like, I'm confused to what this reality is like. What kind of conscious mindset would create a reality where one it's as you just pointed out, it's not even peacefully, it's literally like in style, isn't it?
Well said.
Question 7, follow up to question 6. I think one of the reasons, or maybe the main reason, that the original Matrix was not designed so that everyone would be happy is because the system feeds on polarities as well as loose energy. If you take a step back and observe the many polarities of our world, you'll see it is rampant in this respect. Just to name a few examples, we have rich, poor, beauty, ugly, life, death, pleasure, pain, short, tall, dry, wet, the list goes on. And I think the countless polarities also strengthen the Matrix because a realm that has 2 points to oscillate between is a vibrating reality. Oneness does not vibrate, it just is, and our world is a vibrating one, ranging from the heart beating right through to the night turning into day and vice versa. Do you think achieving a sense of stillness and detachment from the vibrating physical world could possibly be the answer to escaping the soul trap and returning to the one, the infinite?
Right. Yeah, that was, I did mention that earlier.
You did. You already answered that question, actually. You did. I know. Anyway, I mean, we can skip that one if you want. You did kind of answer it. Anything else to add to that one, anyway?
Right. So I do think achieving a sense of stillness and detachment in the form of meditation and Stoicism or Buddhism are helpful. But I'm weary of any concept of returning to the one. The infinite sounds a bit more to my liking. The infinite is meaning that there could be an infinite amount of individuated consciousnesses. When people talk of the one, though, I worry and wonder about, is that another form of deception in a sense, or is that actually what I would want, in the sense of, if there is one originating consciousness and I am a individuated aspect of that one, well, currently anyway, I enjoy being me and my individuated aspect of the one consciousness. And the idea of just dissolving myself to go back to the one, maybe eventually I might think that that's a good idea, but currently that doesn't sound like something I would like to do. And what I would like to do, if possible, is maintain my autonomy and my individuated consciousness. And what I would hope and love to happen is something similar to the movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams, where in the afterlife realm, everybody is just kind of like a co-creator of infinite dream spaces. And so you could create your own realms and dimensions and worlds, and invite other people to come in and co-create with you. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. And it's very free, and everybody was powerful and had autonomy and agency in the afterlife, and was creators themselves, instead of just being created beings. I have this real issue with being a lowly created being and not knowing my creator, or having any knowledge of the creation itself, and being able to reverse and go back and see how that all happened and understand it. I feel like inherently we should all be creators ourselves in that sense, and that we should have the ability to create our own worlds. And then there's nobody responsible but us. Then I wouldn't have any beef with any entity that I don't know about. The whole beef would be with me. And some people say that that could be what is going on, is that in essence, you are God, and the whole soul trap is you tricking yourself into believing you're an individuated consciousness, when in reality, you are ultimately just part of the one. And that does make sense to me. I mean, ultimately, we must come from some originating point, or potentially, like you said, an infinity, which to me actually sounds even more appealing, because infinity is open-ended and free, whereas oneness is enclosed, it's solid, it's already done with. Doesn't seem as freeing to me. It seems like it could be a dominating aspect. I don't necessarily want to be one with the one if the one doesn't agree with everything I agree with. And I doubt he does, otherwise there'd be no reason to have individuated consciousness. So I'm happy with my personalized, individuated consciousness for now, and don't really want to go back to the one unless I can be, persuaded in some way that is beyond my knowledge at the moment.
Sure. No, I find that very interesting. That's really good. Okay. Question 8. Why the lie? Disorientation, perhaps. Since we are on a still Earth, possibly a fragment. You did mention this earlier. I'll read out the question anyway, just in case you've got anything additional to add. But possibly a fragment got detached from the original. I was going to say one, but let's call it infinite. Okay. All right, we'll use the word one anymore. The original infinite reality got converted to serve the archonic matrix system. Do you think the intention to make people believe we are on a spinning ball is an attempt to keep us disorientated and ungrounded from our foundation? Because if you think about it, if we believe we are on a still Earth, we can achieve a sense of stillness and calmness, which in itself can possibly be a path to going back to the infinite. Maybe this indoctrination of making us believe we are on a spinning ball, whilst has many facets as to the reasons why it's been imposed upon us, definitely puts us in a state of disorientation, constant movement, and unbalance. Flat earthers who are advocates of the loving God concept will say they are trying to hide God, but we've covered that ground, so we won't go there. But do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, like the spinning globe and the whole heliocentric model going 4 different motions simultaneously in different directions keeps us in constant upheaval, always on the go, never still. And it's incredibly disorientating to make people believe such things, totally contrary to their senses, because none of that is happening as far as we can tell. As far as we can tell, we're motionless, and everything in the sky is revolving over and around us. And so they're making us senseless and replacing our common sense, everyday lived experience of the world with hearsay from assumed authorities. And that is such a huge and impactful power play. But people act like it doesn't even matter. They say, what does it matter if the Earth's flat? Well, it matters because you have now chosen to believe argument from authority over your own senses and lived experience of the world. How much more impactful could anything be? You've become a senseless being that no longer believes your own lived experience of the world because Neil deGrasse Tyson told you that you're spinning around and you're going around the sun and the moon's going around us and blah blah blah, all this stuff. And because you have to just believe it, because it's nowhere apparent. You can't prove any of these things that they're telling you. It's all based on argument from authority and hearsay from supposed astronauts and stuff like this, or just excuses that they've programmed into us since our 3rd grade textbooks about sticks and shadows, or why you don't fall off the bottom of a ball.
Okay. Here it gets a bit mundane again. So, but the start of this video, I will put the link in the chat. I think it's very profound, very good questions, very philosophical. I mean, once again, it comes down to flat Earth, but yeah.
Because there's a magical force that sucks you into all these little things that when you tell somebody them at such a young age, when they're questioning the world, and then you shut down that natural state of questioning with all these excuses, then if later on in adulthood you hear somebody else asking those same childish questions that you had
way back in the day. Yeah.
Came out and said, no, that wasn't oneness at all talking to him. That was archons disguised as oneness communicating with him. And it was quite interesting. Have you come across that story?
Yes, I've heard that story that he's told.
Yeah, in his books. But like this voice claiming to be oneness, and then he came out and said, "Oh, oneness doesn't have a problem with these elites. It can take her." Well, I tell you what, if it doesn't, it's certainly buying its time. It had like thousands and thousands of millennia of evil, corrupt kings and governments. Yeah, I'm like, well, and in your own time. But anyway, I don't know. It brought back that thought in my head. Okay, so that's question. Okay, question 11. Follow up to question 10. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's like being in a prison, and the warden tells you, well, at least you got a toilet, meals every day, and some fresh air every now and again. Be grateful to be alive. But you was,
what is up?
Not much. How you guys doing?
What's up, Crunch?
Well, we're just listening to this OG. What's his name again? Eric Dubé.
Eric Dubé?
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, this somebody's interviewing him, but the start of the interview was very profound. And then it got back into Flat Earth again, and so I skipped it. But good to see you again, Crunchy.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. I was thinking he kind of sounds like that Steven guy. and that's who I thought it was, and I was like, you aren't listening to that guy, are you?
No.
But from what I heard, yeah, I mean, I haven't listened to Eric Dubé in forever, but I mean, he makes sense on a lot of things. But yeah, it's I don't know, he's going into the like soul trap hell realm type stuff, right?
Yes, I mean he brings some good arguments for it, right? And so one of his first statements was like, this realm is, I mean, it's not yin yang. It's not like there's as much joy as there is pain. There's always more pain than there is joy.
Yeah.
Unless you're like born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Unless you're a spoiled brat. But even then, there's a lot of pain because there's a lot of omission of love and attention, and there's only substitutes for that, right?
Yeah, just a different kind of pain.
Yeah.
So, material things can't fill the void that we all feel here. There's something. I don't know. I mean, I guess this place can be heaven for some people, but I haven't seen it. Not personally.
Yeah. Well, it's doable though. I mean, you can enjoy life too. I mean, I know
and a lot of it's blocking this stuff out and not listening to stuff like this, because it just brings me down, really, because I'm pondering things that I'm never going to have a real answer to. Not here in this.
Excuse me. Hold on.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's like I kind of, I don't know, messes with my head, just wondering, and it's better to just kind of be in the moment and.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Not worry about what's gonna, but try and be a good person and keep it all like in the back of my mind, not forget.
Yeah, so I mean, and just to reiterate what Eric Dubé said, when this he recanted, or had he said no, he relayed this story about this monk seeking for wisdom and asking the enlightened one, like, what is enlightenment? And the guru asked him, did you eat breakfast? Yes, said the monk. And so well, then you need to clean your bowl, and then that's it. There's nothing about life that needs to serve a higher goal. It's just live life. That's
Yeah.
basically it. Yeah.
Alvar Billy says pain is inevitable, suffering is optional.
Yeah.
How? I mean, if you're suffering, besides, doing the thing that you can't undo, I don't really see how that's optional. I mean, maybe you're paralyzed and you can't even do that, and then there's no options to do anything. I think I think about that a lot. When I'm in pain, like can barely walk to the bathroom sometimes. Like, well, at least I can walk. I'm not paralyzed. Try to look at the good, but then I think, am I just gaslighting myself? Am I, trying to be grateful for every little thing when I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you have a hard time walking to the bathroom late at night, you can also, yell to yourself, "I'm living the best life that I can." I mean,
Yeah.
no, come on, yeah, yeah, you're gaslighting yourself a bit, but as long
Yeah.
as you know that, it's.
But it's also, you can't feed the wolf, right? You pay attention to all the negative things and repeat them over and over to yourself. They're gonna grow.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
And I can get in times, that like, what's that state of mind where you're just like, you don't even like feel pain. You don't even feel. You're not thinking about
Apathy.
No, apathy isn't that like a kind of depressed state? No, I'm thinking like I don't know. It's that flow state, I guess, or whatever. When you're just or you're really into something. Like it could be a book or a movie or something physical. Crafting things. But then it's I do have to stop and think like I know I'm just distracting myself, but there's nothing else better to do. So why not just keep distracting myself? I guess I don't know what am I gonna do. Meditate
Okay.
in complete silence. I guess probably should.
Big Dog agrees.
Yes, that's my excuse. They were door-to-door Christians, and I'm always nice to them because they have come to me in the past when I was like really, 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 really bad depressed.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, for real. And this little girl knocked on the door at just the right time and helped me out. So anyway, I'm always nice to him anyway. But Big Dog is a really good excuse to not open the door very big at all. I know. But I'm nice to, and they're more dedicated than I am. I mean, my God, like I said, it is cold, it is windy, it has been wet. There's mud, and there they are out there trying to save my soul. And I won't even get out and feed the horses. So I do admire their enthusiasm.
You
it gave me much
video
to get my pie.
I didn't want to interrupt it.
Interrupt what?
The video.
Oh no! I mean, we're just killing some time. Did you see some good movies lately, Crunchy?
One I last watched was it's called Infinity Chamber. It was about this guy who was falsely accused of, I guess, taking somebody else's life. And well, it never really shows. I mean, he thinks he's being falsely accused. So, but he's locked up in this like military like experimental thing. Like he's just in a cube, like just a little 8 by
I think I've
something
seen it.
room.
It's like 4 or 5 years old, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think it was 2016 or 17, so
Oh, that old.
more
Yeah,
on
yeah.
8 or 10. But I mean, it was interesting. I don't know. They had some computer and like some technology to where like, or at least he thought, I don't know, he could go back in his memories and like kind of live in them like a dream, kind of
Yeah,
like a lucid dream. And I don't know, it kept like he kept getting out and then realizing he was still in there.
he was just in it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like he would get out and he's like going to this gas station. There's nobody around or whatever, but then he'll see something that just kind of like triggers a memory that's like a little kind of glitch or something, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm still in the computer." So I don't know. It's weird to think, we're infinite beings and we're never. I mean, obviously this body's gonna die sometime, right? Or I think, if it's even real, right? All these things. It's crazy. It is madness to ponder all these things all the time. And I don't know. It's like it brings me to psychosis, honestly. I feel like that's like my peak of like, oh, nothing's real, and I don't that's why I like
strawberry fucking fields forever, dude. I mean, I don't want that either. I mean,
But you can go too far and not come back. That's when people end up in, straitjackets.
I can't have strawberry fields forever. I mean, I need some lushy meadows with some raging bulls that I can hunt. I need a little bit of Valhalla too. I have only strawberry fields. Come on.
Too mellow.
That's what everybody's like. What's your all's idea of heaven? What would that be for you?
Okay, I had a dream one time. I'll start. It was one of those real dreams, where you don't know if you're dreaming.
Like a vision, more like a vision.
No, it was like a real dream. I thought I was really there. And it was where I grew up when I was like really little, because I remember like laying in the grass looking at the sky and just being really totally peaceful and relaxed. And that's where I went in my dream until I woke up. So I thought, well, and going back in time where everybody is alive and well and happy and having that be real. Yeah, this is heaven.
Yeah, where you didn't know what the world was about. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Before we knew good and evil.
Before everything went to crap.
About the Jews, right? Yeah.
What? Well, that was a segue. But I am eating the last bit of my deep dish Dutch apple crumb pie that I had. And then I'll probably pass out in diabetic coma. Because, I don't have the ice cream. I gave my sister the ice cream, thank God.
Well, at least we're the last ones to speak with you, if you die.
And I'm dying happy.
You die happy. The filled stomach, yeah.
I had a very similar dream to that one time, except it wasn't I wasn't in a field. I was just kind of floating in all white light, and it was so peaceful and calm, and I didn't really have any thoughts or anything. Like I just wanted to stay there.
Was it like in your avatar? Did you have like a black and yellow body?
No, I didn't have any body.
Floating in a white bubble.
And I didn't see any end to the whiteness or any beginning to it. I didn't have any body, and it was just calm. And I was like, as soon as I was like conscious of it, I don't know really, and I didn't hear a voice, but I like felt something saying you need to go back. And I was like, I don't want to go back. And they're like, you have to, and it like pulled me out of it. And I was like, well, crap. I guess that was something to remember because I never felt that before. I don't know if that's like a DMT realm or something. Like I think.
Yeah, I've been in a similar place, and all I remember is the moment they sent me back, like this beautiful woman that said to me like, and now you're going back to 666.
No.
And every time she said 6, I became more aware, and I was like, oh no, oh, and then I was back. I was like,
yeah, it sounds like how they wake people up from trances. They snap their fingers or say a certain thing 3 times, and now you awake. Yeah, but yeah, it's like there's nothing you can really do about it. It's like you can't stop not coming back. But I don't know. I mean, would it get old? It seems like it would get old, nothingness, right? But and then we choose to come here. I don't know. But it is really weird about the numbers. I see it all the time, that either 666 or the 33, or I don't know. I don't see 1111 anymore. It seems like things just keep getting darker. Well, no, I did see 1111 the other day, and it was it was on a video about God, but it was posted right at 11:11. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but
they always do.
I don't know, with AI, and it feels like it's becoming more and more dystopian. All the,
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I've been thinking about escaping. I've been thinking about that for the last 10 years, I think, maybe. And but I just don't know where to go. And besides that, or above that, I just have it too good to escape, right? I'm just right with luxury.
I mean, yeah, really. We got to look at it. We've got everything at our fingertips. We can just order it on the phone. We don't even have to leave the house anymore.
Dude, I don't even have to fucking work. I don't even have to work. I just get money from the government, and I just live in my apartment. If I want, I can spend my money on stupid things. I can go on a holiday. I can drive a car. I mean, it's crazy. Why should I escape? But still, I want to escape.
But is there anywhere to escape? Like off grid somewhere? Like, and then, grow your own chickens?
The only place to escape is Poland or Hungary or Czechia, right? Yeah. Or Russia, I mean, I'm not racist, but, it's the Kalergi plan. And I don't think that things are going to change around here. The best solution would be a balkanization of Europe. And, I won't go for that. I'm just not going to go for that. But it's going to come to that. I mean, that's the plan. That's why they brought in all the Muslims and all the immigrants. And
they seem to be doing that everywhere. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the U.S., but it's everywhere.
I think it's good to disrupt civilization and society. Generally.
Yeah, that's
everywhere.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but Poland, just didn't allow that. Same goes for Hungary, and Finland. They don't like to be in a like, just as well as they don't like to be in the north of Canada. They don't like to be in Finland either. That's just a bit too cold for these people. But still, they're there too, you know.
But it seems like if there's isolation, there's hardship. I mean, like if you do find a place that's just isolated out in some valley in the middle of Chechnya,
Yeah.
then
It's
it will
gonna be a lot of
probably be hard to have the comfortable things like hot water and
Right.
things like that. Medicine.
Yeah.
You know, so there are some trade-offs to that because I think that's the lure of, you know, the softness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we would need the medicine if we ate right
Yeah.
and there wasn't these engineered, you know, I mean, we're eating
Illnesses.
bioengineered stuff and
Mm-hmm.
the
But you'll always fall
clones.
and break your leg. You know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, but there's no medicine that just heals that up. I mean, being healthy sure will help it heal faster. But besides like the pain and stuff, yeah, I mean, that's gonna help. But all medicine really does is prevent or delay the inevitable.
The healing process.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Because I think
does.
a lot of it just masks. I mean, it doesn't like aspirin. Aspirin doesn't heal anything. It just masks the pain
Mm-hmm.
or the symptoms. So I don't think
Yeah.
it really heals. So you
Yeah.
feel comfortable.
And we're so
How do
addicted
you
to
watch?
everything.
Yeah. How do you watch movies, Crunchy?
I guess I could show you later.
Okay.
Like offline,
I
or
just
I'll give you a link.
watch movies on BitChute, and so that there's a couple of channels that frequently load up movies, and you know there might be like 4 or 5 channels, and I get my pickings of that, and I don't have to do anything weird. I don't have to go to a weird site and click. You know, it's just whatever they upload. That's my supply, and I like it or I don't. And I can't look up. But I saw this other movie, Bugonia.
Oh, that was so good.
It's weird, huh?
I loved it.
I mean, the twist that it took at the end, that was nice. Like what?
I mean, I called it. I mean, I wanted her to be an alien the whole time. so I was like, you know, but it kept me on the edge. I was like, is she or isn't she? I don't know. Is she just? Is the guy just crazy?
Yeah, of course he was fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, it's like utterly insane. And then he blew himself up.
Oh gosh.
And then, but then again, you know, he was in the right space. But you know, he just was. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was a very nice plot twist. I liked it.
Because am I watching the movies? I just, anytime I try to do anything on YouTube, I get a strike.
Yeah.
So I thought, especially the ones that I really want to watch. Oh, wrong button.
Yeah, put a couple links in the private chat for you.
Okay.
So, wait, do you watch movies then on this?
Oops.
There's another one. I can't. Oh yeah.
I know y'all can hear me push my buttons.
And let
Trying
me
to go
get...
places.
Yeah, that top one, that first one is what I've been using, but the other two is a list of a whole bunch of them if one's not working or whatnot. But who knows how long those will be good before something changes.
I know it's kind of underground.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid that I will lose the connection if I click a link to go someplace else.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Such an amateur.
I am. I don't get paid. It's purely out of love, I guess. Let me write it down anyway, just in case. Because this is going to be a perfect day to just, oh God, I need to go feed the horses first. But after that,
After that,
after that,
woohoo,
it will be a perfect day to just lay around and smoke dope and watch movies.
Okay, well.
That's what I think.
Still trapped within a prison cell, just as we are trapped inside of our biological bodies tuned into a holographic Earth prison. Now, let's say this is something recently that I've been thinking about, actually. Let's say you're living the life of your dreams. You have everything that you want and need. You have wealth, valuable friendships, and the partner of your dreams. Would you be content with having all of those things, knowing full well that there are others living in lack? Because I certainly would not be satisfied with that, no matter how much I have. I would be uncomfortable knowing that there is someone else living in lack, and there is an incredible amount of unbalance in this world between happiness and unhappiness, between the rich and poor, etc. We are so conditioned to focus on the I, and I don't like it when people say I'm lucky or that person is lucky. Why should you be lucky over everybody else? It's egoistic or self-centered and focuses on the I. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, exactly. That makes perfect sense. Like, how could, if you have empathy and compassion anyway, how can you be totally content with all the great things that you may have in your life if all around you everyone is suffering and experiencing negative things, especially if you're
You
hoarding
have a good day,
some
forever
of the
love.
things that are causing them to have to do it, like a lot of these rich people are doing. The way the monetary system is set up, there's only a certain amount of currency that can go around, and the more you stockpile yourself, when it gets into the billionaire level, at this point you've hoarded more wealth than you can even spend in a lifetime. Meanwhile, a bunch of other people that you could, that one way or another it could be distributed to them, could at least live a better life. You have to cut yourself off. You have to be disconnected and unempathetic to have that version of happiness. And is that really happy? Like, what even is that? Psychopathic happiness, I guess. And is that what is that what God wants? He wants psychopathic happy people and everyone else to just be depressed all the time. But
Do you all
even
think
with that psychopathic happiness, imagine it this way. So you get what you said, you all the wealth you want, everything you want,
Oh,
even the
see
life.
you, Callum. It's good to see you.
Do y'all think people get what they deserve?
No.
I heard somebody say that
No.
today, and I was like,
If they did, bad people would be suffering all the time.
right?
Yeah, I think people might, like it says, you get what you need.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But
Because I think about when I had hard times, it's like, oh, can I feel guilty if I have good times? When other people are suffering, and I'm kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have suffered. You've got reasons for things. And it sucks to be them. It sucked to be me. But there was probably a reason for me to have gone through all that crap.
There probably is some kind of karma, but I just don't think it works like.
No, it's not like, these are all just cope mechanisms, right? Like, everybody gets what they deserve, or you manifest your own life. That's
what I feel horrible
That's
about.
not true. That's just not true. That's true to a certain degree, right? But it's not. It's not a golden rule. It's not a rule of thumb. It's not like, everybody gets what they deserve, or what they wish for, what they think of, or their thoughts are materializing. That's not what happens at all.
So I think you can make choices that would lead you to a certain outcome, but I don't think you could just sit there in front of the TV and just meditate on a new car.
Yeah. Some people say they have, but I don't know. I I only seem to manifest the bad stuff. Like the synchronicities, don't they kind of make it seem like you are manifesting that? Because it's like, what was it? I was watching a video the other day, just scrolling through shorts, and I came across one about the brown recluse spider.
Ooh, yeah.
And I paid a lot of attention to it because I wasn't really sure if I'd ever actually seen one, because I've seen little brown spiders, but and so I like took it all in, so I knew what if I saw one, I would know, right? And then not just like 2-3 hours later, I turning on my fan, and there's one crawling like right towards my hand up the cord, like inches away from me, and it was dead on a brown recluse, just like the video. And it's like, wow, I really don't think I've ever actually seen one until then, and just that, like,
that felt like a manifestation.
Did I manifest that?
Yeah.
And of course, I like dropped the fan, and I was like, oh no, now it's somewhere loose. I don't know where it's at.
Oh God, Crushy! Don't remind me. I have dismantled my entire bedroom because of spiders.
I know, but it's just like, I don't know what's the chances of all these, and they seem to be happening more and more and more. And it's like, I don't know.
Well, I think some of it, like there's a superstition, like, you know, especially ghosts, that if you talk about them or think about them, you'll call them. You know, like the one that haunts the Seminole Nation Accounting Department. Yeah. You know, so don't talk about
Candyman. Right?
You'll call it to you, or tornadoes even. Like you know how you blow across the pop bottle and it makes that noise. You know, like kind of noise. Grandma would get on to us for that because she'd say we would be calling a tornado.
Oh man!
You know, so there is a lot of superstition about connections to things and how you might be able to pull them to you, draw things to you. That's kind of a manifesting.
But what if it only manifested because she told you that? You wouldn't think of a tornado, right? But then after she said it.
Yeah, that's why that woman was evil, because her mind was already rotten, so she needed the virgin mind of that child for the belief
to manifest.
For the faith.
Well, isn't that kind of the same as like watching videos like this and like dark, deeper, depressing things, and we're thinking about it. They're telling us, so now it's like, oh, when we're thinking about it. And I mean, same way with the news on TV, and
same with war, with the war here and the war there.
Yeah.
Well, Dad used to not like for us to watch, you know, spooky movies and, you know, ghost programs, because he pointed out that they are saying those spells or incantations or calling those things, even though you're not doing it, it's being done.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I understand the point. So I think that happens a lot, like in movies. Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's a big ritual for sure. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We can come to that conclusion, but it all takes belief, really. Either way, however you want to look at it, say it's all in God's hands, and well, that's. I mean, or faith. I don't know. Belief and faith.
I don't know. Is there the difference in it? Belief and faith?
I think so.
Because neither one of them are supposed to be based on fact.
Yeah.
Or proof. It's all in whatever faith is, whatever belief is.
I mean, I just don't. Yeah, it's like it goes in circles. I never know. I never know what to believe. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I can't. If I just throw my hands up and say I don't believe anything, kind of don't have any direction.
Well, that's sad too. I mean, maybe that's why there is belief. It's because it's so sad to not have one. but still yet it works.
Well, I think those are the most wise words that I ever heard a man speak. And he survived the war. And this journalist came to him, and this man was totally. He probably lost, a lot of his family and a lot of his neighbors. And this interviewer, this journalist came to him. He said, "And so, what side were you on? What side are you on now?" And the man just totally desolated, and he looked at him and he said, like, "I don't want to hear about any idealism ever again."
Mm-hmm.
That was his answer. He said, I don't have, I will never have any idealism ever again. That's what his answer was. Totally.
Because a lot of that is just manipulation.
Yeah, it's so hard to break free from it. It feels like it's all some program or something to control us. I mean, all the way down to commercials. They definitely control us to make us want things and think about them, and it's just society steering us. But it's like you were saying earlier, it's like, well, I've got a warm house right now and it's freaking 20 degrees outside. I'd be freezing. There's no way I could survive in nature.
I know.
Well, of course you could, and you would, but you'd be working all day long.
Yeah, but humans have to use their minds to survive. I mean, like the horses, I kind of worry about them, but they are growing thick hair. They've already got thick coats, and they know where to hide. And so, it seems like animals are born adaptive, naturally out of their own body.
They have like natural, like physical defenses.
But humans have to think about it. It's like, oh crap, where can I find a house? Where can I find some clothes? Where can I find some shoes? Because I'm not born with it. I have to make it with my mind.
That's how we can tell that we don't belong here, right? We're not from this world, right?
Because it's just too hard. We are not adapted to the environment naturally.
That's what that begonia was, right? Because that the aliens put us here. And we were like hybrids.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, we're definitely.
Well, I don't know how successful that experiment is, dang.
I mean, could we be just, GMOs, like.
Like corn?
Yeah, I mean, people that really know what they're talking about when they have been. How do you call this? Genetic researchers, researchers of the genome, and all clues lead to genetic manipulation. Because we feel there's something missing, right? I feel that like I have a clue about something, and I don't even know what I have that clue about. But like, what's up with that?
Don't they say we have?
They took something away from me, and that's genetic even.
Yeah, they say we're missing like parts of our DNA is just inactive or something.
Yeah,
like
they don't know what it's for.
Yeah, supposedly don't know.
Yeah, it might be doing something. They just don't see it. I think that's what a lot of things are. Sometimes when they say they don't know or it doesn't really exist, I think that they just aren't able to see it.
I wonder if you remember a few years back there was a video about some guy that supposedly had invented a jab that was called like the God, supposed to like take out the God gene or like extremist and stuff.
Oh my God, no!
You never heard? I remember that a few years ago. I wonder if that was actually true. And then
maybe that's part of the vaccine.
Of course it is.
I was trying not to say
Oh dear.
I guess
maybe that's why some of those people go crazy.
Yeah, but isn't it? Who's this guy? Not. He predicted this back in the early 20th century, like 1910. Not Jung, not Freud. What's this guy about eurythmics? What it is? Weet die gast nou, joh?
Wish I could help you.
No,
Not
but
really,
he
not
predicted this. He predicted that they would invent a vaccine that would take away the connection with God and would take away the soul. He predicted this. It was like 120 years ago. So
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it didn't work on everybody because it's, or like some people, maybe there was like like duds they gave out that weren't,
Or
you
we're
know.
genetically mutated and don't have it.
yeah,
Well, I know my what do they call it? My mitochondrial DNA got changed by an antibiotic. Like I didn't know that's what it was doing until I couldn't walk, and then I had to look it up myself and be like, "Oh, okay, that's what's actually." They gave me a drug that attacked me, not the bad bacteria in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it so my mitochondria couldn't reproduce the bacteria, which I guess is effective, but it also like breaks down all the other processes in
your whole body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was everything, not just that.
Yeah, and it's really nefarious. I feel like it's done on purpose, and the fact that it's like one of the most dangerous things, and they still just hand it out like candy. But still, it's only
Yeah.
supposed to protect. It's only supposed to affect like 1% of people. But I think I know everything. All these, it's a slow poisoning, is what, because you don't notice it. If you're being poisoned the right way, you're not supposed to notice it. And but there is all these changes going on in our body from things we eat, just
Yeah.
regular food. Did you see the what the Campbell's soup
Chemtrails.
recipe?
Yes, 3D meat. Oh,
Yeah, what is up? I mean, and I went in my closet and looked at the back of my can. Sure enough, it says
yeah.
bioengineered ingredients.
I had a video with all of that, and it was showing a lot of that, how everything is like showing bioengineered ingredients and giving an example of what some of the bioengineered ingredients are, including vaccines. And
Yeah,
it's gone now. It's been pulled.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Plus
know,
fake food.
they
You know,
took down
plastic food.
all of that stuff up for us talking about this crazy stuff, and now they allow it because it's like true.
It's real.
I know. It
It's
just comes out.
true.
I mean, the stuff that they get away with in the USA, that's just incredible to the rest of the
Yes.
world, right? I mean, but you know that.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, I saw some videos about that. You know, when I was doing the, you know, some looking around about fake plastic food, I saw some of that. It compared European food, the same kind of food, same kind of diet, and the results, you know, with Americans, with our
Yeah,
food.
and besides that, our food is even cheaper. You know, I mean, our food is way cheaper, and like, well, you cannot go that bad in Europe as you can in the USA. I mean, the kind of food the kind of stuff that they serve as food. I mean that's just unacceptable. But only in the USA that kind of stuff is acceptable. But
Well, it's probably because it's so corrupt. All of the FDA and all of the people that are supposed to, you know, monitor that kind of thing.
yeah.
They changed the federal hemp bill recently. Have y'all heard about that?
No.
No.
Yeah, you know the one that gave us like everything. Well, you live in a legal state, so you didn't really had to worry
Yeah.
about it. Here we had to like go through that loophole with that bill. So anything in hemp that could be extracted and broke down was declared legal, and so they changed it recently. Oh, you know how like seeds they had no THC in them, so those were
Yeah.
perfectly. Now all seeds are illegal. Any viable
Oh,
seed that has
crap.
the potential to make anything over 0.3% THC is legal now. But in that bill, it says nothing about clones. Ironically,
Yeah.
I feel like they had to have done that. You see, our government acts like they're stupid. But all these things are planned out. I saw like all the drugs that are flooding the streets, killing people and stuff. That's planned out. It has to be. And
Well, I think some of it might be to funnel people like into the legalized stuff right now, and they're really clamping down on that now that they have made it legal. And people are predicting that they're going to start doctoring that, putting things in that, because there's
I
a
think
lot of
they already have.
fentanyl and things to make me afraid to go to the street.
Mhm.
Because just weed even anymore can have that in it from the street. But it's getting more and more controlled going to the store.
It's got to be an evil person to place some weed. But just those extracts were, I don't know, my mind can't handle it anymore. I smoked for like a month and I was feeling okay until like I laid down one time. I had been drinking and smoking, and I laid down. I'm like, I'm hallucinating. Holy crap. I should cut this out. Yeah, I was having all kinds of closed eye visuals. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna back off it again. And it's like, it's one of those things, it's like, oh, I'm sure I could do it every now and then, but when I do, it's like, well, I'll keep doing it because I feel good. And then it's just like a psychedelic, it like turns on me.
Well, then it's time to take a break again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've cut out. Well, it's been, I drank on my birthday, 10 days ago or something. And I almost bought one today when I was at the gas station, but I was like, nope, not going to do it.
What did you want to buy? Like whiskey or a 6-pack?
Oh, just some beer. I was just going to get one of those tall cans, 24 ounce, which, I mean,
can be quite effective.
Yeah.
Depending on, 6 point, 3 point.
Yeah.
All that.
10 point.
Yeah. Is Oklahoma, it's still like military beer 3 point unless you go to a liquor store?
I think at 8%. I think that's the highest like beer, or maybe a 10. But shoot, I could go buy Everclear 90% if I wanted
Oh my
to.
God.
Oh,
why would you want to do that? Oh, golly.
90% can buy 90%
But-
alcohol. That's for consumption.
Yeah. I could go buy that and just chug it if I wanted to. Nobody's gonna stop me.
I mean, it's like, well, my girlfriend, her husband was doing that. He was going to try and make some hash oil or something. So he took some weed and put it in a pan on top of the stove and poured Everclear in there and caught the kitchen on fire.
Oh no.
Loaded. I mean, that stuff is like gasoline.
Yeah.
It will hurt you. It's not healthy.
Burn you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy though, that they're worried about weed and they let us, let us do that or
You can drink paint fluid.
sure.
Paint fluid.
Do
That's
whatever
okay.
you want.
Oh dear. Well, I almost went to a wine place, in the next town over. Some people are starting businesses, and one of them is a coffee and wine place, and it looks like there are books in it too.
Oh, it's like a cafe. You can sit down and read a book,
Yeah.
glass of wine.
I thought, oh, we are becoming so continental. You can get drunk on Main Street.
Be better than going out to a bar and
Oh,
having
no
to deal with
kidding.
all
I
the crazy
swear.
people.
Yeah. But I might stop in there next time I drive that way with money and see what they have. That would be an experience. I should bring my glasses and look like an intellectual. And see. Yeah,
I
that would get see too.
I really don't know what we need the federal government for. It's like if every state can make their own laws, and it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Well,
Well, it used to be just for war.
yeah,
You know, which I can see that. You know, you want to have kind of a, unified front during the war. But other than that, I think you need to just let everybody do what they want to do until they start messing with other people, as a general rule.
I guess, did you all hear about the incident at the White House, Washington, D.C.?
Then they shoot some National Guards.
Yeah.
And both of them were just freshmen. They were in the service only for 24 hours.
Mhm.
They hadn't had any training. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
You think that might be a false
Yeah,
flag?
it might be a psyop. Yeah, well, yeah, of course it was a psyop. Of course it was a hoax. Of course I'm going to auto-hoax this. Of course.
Well, that just made him put more people, more troops or whatever on the street, right?
Duh.
Which he shouldn't really be able to do this, right?
No,
I mean,
he
without calling
shouldn't.
martial law.
Well, I disagree with taking out the National Guard, because there's National Guard and there's reserves. And and reserves are military. I mean, they've been trained military. They are military. They're just not active. And National Guard is like Joe Blow down the road, like the girl that takes your appointments at the clinic was in the National Guard, and they called them up and sent them to Afghanistan, and they all got shot because they're not trained the same. They're trained to, like, I don't know, pass out water during a flood or something.
Yeah.
So I don't think they need to be having the National Guard. And besides that, it's state. He needs to have Federal Reserve troops doing it that know how to shoot. That's my opinion. That's what
Yeah. Why didn't if it was? It seemed like if it was just like your regular Joe American that did that, they would have like shot him dead right there, right? Why? I guess. What do they want to interrogate
It
him?
was a CIA operative, right? Wasn't it?
Well, they always die.
It was an Afghan spy that had connections to the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he was supposed to be whenever they did all that Afghan stuff and left all the guns there and everything and brought some people out. He was supposed to be one of the people that they brought out. So he was
they're
special.
still sending $40 million per day to Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But they're arguing over my little $2,000.
Crazy amount. That's after they left all the gear there, or was that another country?
Yeah. Well, maybe it was just an excuse to explain away how we gave them so much of our stuff.
All the money. I mean, if we as citizens had that money, we could change the world.
That's why they take it away.
spend
And that's
it.
why they
For the
spend it. I mean, we would be thriving as a world.
As an economy.
I mean, it's because of these. It's because of these small hats. That's why the world is a mess. It's just because of them, man. It's just them. It's just them. They make us do this stupid stuff.
I think it's more than them. I think
it's demon breed. They infect everybody else. They
More
infect
like
everybody else.
that.
But if we take this vermin out, the world will be a better place. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then it's just like, I don't know. It's supposed to be God's plan, right? That's why he doesn't take it down. That's, and we're not supposed to question God's plan because
I question God all the time, and I always demand an explanation for some of this. I don't get one, but I do ask.
I feel bad questioning.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I think it's okay to question, but I think that disobedience is a different matter. But I think there's, like some of my bosses used to say when I would gripe, duly noted. Well, I'm gonna go and feed the horses. I want to watch a movie later on.
All right.
Somehow, however we do it.
Have you ever used Discord?
Yeah.
It's a really good place to hang out.
You can tell my confidence.
Or we could, I don't know, just sit backstage and watch something.
Yeah, let's watch something backstage. You start a stream, Crunchy. We're gonna watch a movie.
All right.
Okay, I need to go feed the horses. I'm gonna go out there and drag out a bale of hay and throw it over the fence.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll be
See you
here.
later.
And maybe even get some more weed while
Uh-oh.
I'm out in the cold.
Don't let him hear you.
I know it. They have new laws now. They treat it like open container liquor law. That I forget exactly how they judge you. But yeah, if you have evidence of being, so you're smoking in the car, which I do all the time, then they'll treat it like open can of beer or open bottle of wine or something.
Oh, yeah, you'll get DUI for that.
Yes, a felony. Whatever
Oh.
is a felony. Yeah, felony.
Oh.
So they're kind of like more than a ticket, I think. I should know. God, I used to work at the courthouse. But anyway. But yeah, I want to try and do that in maybe an hour. I want to watch a movie today and get some hot chocolate and
Oh, that's a good idea.
yes, and some weed and just sit and smoke dope and watch a movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a hot chocolate now.
Mm-hmm. It's a day for it.
It's a day for it, and some whiskey. Uh-huh.
Oh, you're gonna be a bad influence.
Have you gotten any snow out there yet? boy?
No, it's supposed to hit Monday here.
We did get a tiny speck of snow the other day, like 10 days ago. It was quite a surprise.
We got like maybe an inch. The earliest I've ever seen it. It was October like 15th or something.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
and
good,
then like 2 days later, it was back up in the 70s. Felt like spring. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was really pretty the other day. That's when I should have done fence work, but oh well. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Okay, I'm gonna quit. Maybe.
Okay.
You know how it goes with me.
Hey, so what movie are we gonna watch today, Crunchy? Do you have an idea?
We can browse. Figure something out.
Okay. All right, let me see if I
I'll
can
see you
get
at
out of here.
Crunchy's, Greek Mary.
All right. Like I said, there's no telling how I'm gonna. I mean, half the time I don't know what I'm. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
What
dude.
happens if I push this button?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Now when I wait, okay, I can end the stream though, but that doesn't always work.
All right, I'll